Previously, in the Age of Ashes.
Alcetta's ring once held wonders, but its magics have faded.
Oh, wow.
Walls and arching overhead, the high domed ceiling are decorated with spiraling, curved designs. 6 huge archways punctuated around the outsides of the room. And turn back towards the gate here and just touch the tip of the arrowhead towards the chartstone. A quick blast, a surge of flames before it all disappears, leaving just a blank stone face again.
Something happened to shut the gate down.
Yep.
It is broken?
In my chamber, the Hell Knights left great riches.
Kneeling it down on the ground, what must be near 15, 20 feet tall standing, with each half of this enormous door attached to one forearm.
The custodian of Alcetta's ring dwells beyond. Only those who bear the symbol may pass.
Beyond is a very plain rectangular room. This is a certificate of some kind, embellished, signed, notarized twice by what appears to be one of the highest power electors in the Order of the Nail. Appears to be the deed to the entirety of Hell Knight Hill. Citadel Altarian included.
Yet.
So
Well,
the Hell Knights wrote up their own deed for their own castle that they built in the middle of nowhere.
We'll definitely need to arrange at least weekly meetings or so.
Of
Unless
course.
you're looking to hire a seneschal to work on your behalf to just run the basic day-to-day and keep the books and everything. We'll have to arrange a tax schemata for the structure and have our assessors out there to gauge the lands and the structures of the Citadel itself, as well as everything laying below in these basements.
The portal was not beyond repair, leading to new journeys.
Ready as we're going to be. Suited up, arms and armor prepared, magic at our sides. Who wants to step first through the portal?
I don't know if that's such a good idea.
I'll give it to you because I know you're so excited about it, but...
Alrighty then.
I'm sorry, this is...
Oh, we still have a lesser antidote. I wonder if this would help. I have no idea if this will help. Rue, do you think this will help? Maybe asking
my
you
skin.
was not the right...
My skin is shiny. It's not my inside.
They're still glowing.
I'm
Alright.
not gonna stop glowing.
Oh. That's what the antidote's for. Oh. I like my finger.
I'm not gonna wear it.
Yes, desperate times, desperate times.
So cramming an antidote into Esmus's mouth and forcing it down. That. Oh man. It's always an interesting day when you make your path finally down to the ancient elven teleportation ring and just find the deed to an enormous castle perched on a hill a few miles outside of town, just laying there. A deed which certainly transfers ownership to whoever's holding it, doesn't require any kind of signing process or anything. It's
Awfully convenient.
a good fantasy day in Galarian for us all.
It's like the Scooby-Doo version of Sims.
So, before we proceed on stepping through this portal here to see what lay beyond, Jayazo wants in on this hero point game, redeeming yet another one. So many Paizo points in the chat today for Buford.
Oh,
It's
boy.
all the hat, really. It really is.
Buford Bates here.
The hat earns you so many. Yet add it to your just massive pile of hero points you literally never
Buford's
spent.
bad with gold because he just is like, okay.
Since we
I got
don't
it.
have an overlay at the moment,
What
let's
was
at
it?
least. It was Jayazo. Let me at least go around. At the moment, I have 3 villain points hanging out, waiting to do nefarious things to people. Not counting your session reroll. How many do you have right now, I suppose? You have dos.
Uno.
First got 1.
1.
First got 1.
I have 1.
He uses his all the time, though. He's
Darren.
like, oh man, I'm having trouble breathing.
The excuses have already begun. So 2, 1, 3, 1, 1.
4. But, I mean,
3 a second ago, 2 before the start of the session. No one else had one.
Buford's he just got them all tucked up under his head. He just takes it out and starts raining golden tokens. Kados is gonna starve. You're taking all their food.
We want to
I
read.
actually still have a lot of food in here. So, just to recap, you can spend your hero points. You can use them to re-roll a d20 check.
But why would you want to do that?
You can. They are spendable. It's a.
All right,
it's a
so
give
I'm
and
gonna
take.
use shared luck on everyone except for Buddy.
Rude.
You got 4 shared lucks right there.
Buford grew up poor. I mean, he's running a farm, trying to support his wife and 2 kids out on the outskirts of Breach Hill. Like, you got 4 shiny golden hero points. He's not gonna spend that. That's more money than he's ever seen since he started doing this, and has seen like 15 times that much money just kind of fall out of stuff. And now also partially owns a castle. Anyway,
Kill a boggart and gold just showers.
before we step through this portal here into the unknown beyond, I feel like this is a perfectly good time for us to look quickly at our just overall story so far. I feel like a new chapter always is a good launching off point. It's a good, especially with this adventure, as we are literally walking through a portal to a different adventure. And 12 episodes is a lot to catch up on, recaps and texts, or text write-ups, regardless. So, here's the long and short of it. Breach Hill is a small little village in the foothills of the Five Kings Mountains in northeastern? Southeastern. Let's just go with eastern. I'll figure out the north and south later. East Gary. I'm looking at the map on the wall over here. I'm pretty sure it's northeast and East Gary. And there, they have a monthly tradition called the Call for Heroes. Town doesn't have a lot of guards. They're kind of busy managing their own things in town. So whenever weird stuff happens outside of town, outside what the guards can really handle, bandits on the roads, etc., this Call for Heroes goes out, and the town itself sponsors budding adventurers or mercenaries on their contracts to help out and become heroes of Breach Hill. Sounds like a good idea. We got tasked to head up to Hell Knight Hill, a bluff about a mile or 2 out of town, with a much longer winding walk, almost 10 miles up the backside to get there, upon which sits Citadel Altarian, an ancient Hell Knight fortress, filled with monsters, friendly goblins, and a strange cult called the Cinder Claws, comprised of boggards and small monkey men, all pretty much exclusively speaking Mwangi, a language none of us knew. We managed to put them down, but really didn't figure out why it was they were here. See, it's quite a far cry from Mwangi. Easter's literally across the inner sea and a huge desert. It's not close to Mwangi at all. Great distance. Well, following up on an unrelated end, finding a back door into the underlevels of Citadel Altarian's basements, the crypts, we found out that a bookseller in town, a friend of many of our party's elves, Vaz Lorraine, had been using the passage for some kind of necromancy, trying to learn about an ancient elven relic called Alcetta's Ring, nestled even further beneath Hell Knight Hill. Vaz wanted to use it to found an assassin's guild and fulfill contracts throughout the inner seas, grow the reach of Norgorber, gather information, etc. Evil stuff.
Blah, 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 blah.
The
Evil
Cinder
shenanigans.
Claws wanted to use it for, we're still honestly not entirely positive what exactly, but based on how combative they are and the fact that they seem to worship Dahak,
Random violence.
We're
very
thinking they
evil
want our
dragon
mates.
god. It's nothing good. And now, after a long month, a lot of battle, and a whole lot of town bureaucracy, we have managed to get down to Alcetta's Ring ourselves. And the castle we now own, as when the Hell Knights abandoned it, they left the deed to the place down in the basement in Alcetta's Ring itself for whoever may someday find it. And we are finally stepping through one of its many portals. We have met several new friends on this adventure. Tyrannus, a nice, for a Hell Knight, who taught us the value of tactics and not immediately setting everything on fire at the first sign of danger.
Which we have not learned.
Did not stick at all, no. Renali, a strange woman from Mwangi who is clearly not a Cinderclaw and hates them a lot, also may or may not be a spider. And now, whatever lies beyond this portal, Rur, or as Tim Buff put it, Saren Ray Cleric. His name is apparently not that memorable.
It's really hard to pronounce.
It's just such a weird name. Rur.
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 Yeah, that's all it is.
You will have one extra hero point at least.
Yeah.
Besides you, as you travel through.
Thank you.
So when last we left
Thank you.
the team, we were right there at the precipice of something. Very unclear on exactly what. But Hunter's Gate had opened. And shield raised, the worshipper of Alcetta, here Resme, had stepped through. As she steps forward, you almost immediately lose sight of her as she passes into this misty gate, seeming to go even an inch beyond its borders and disappearing entirely. The rest of you, I assume, soon follow after.
Yeah,
Well,
this
we
is
finally got rid of her, guys.
Easy. Now the castle's only a 4-way split. You'll head through.
Yep.
Yeah.
So as you pass through the mists yourselves, it's an odd kind of sensation, and it's basically no sensation whatsoever. The mists don't have any kind of moisture. It doesn't feel like anything at all. And if you're stepping through a portal to Mwangi or anywhere, it doesn't really feel like you're doing anything other than just stepping through the normal threshold of a door. But you certainly can't see much of anything, as soon as you pass into this gateway, this flowing white swirl is all you can see. For a few steps, even. Long enough for you to wonder,
What have I done?
oh no, did we do this wrong? Before you do finally make it through to the other side. The mist fading in the space of half a step, giving way to about a 20-foot wide passageway, leading forward out into the darkness. The portal you step through on this end is bright, energized, putting off a glow illuminating the area in front of you, so that you can see you stand, well, not really on stone or tile or anything else, but in what appears to be dried magma. You can see the black bits where the lava had even flown across the ground to where it now rests, visible on a not quite flat surface, continuing up the walls and arcing around, making this tube. Almost like a squared tube, I suppose, around 20 feet around every direction. Far down, well, it must be at least 100 feet or so down this passageway. At the far end of it, you can see a similar glow to the portal shedding light behind you. Just a slight bit of light in the distance, showing your destination.
what school of magic is it?
If you were to detect magic, you would most certainly just be getting a strong aura of conjuration, just as you had
Conjuration?
with the portal
Okay.
before.
Huh.
Well, it's a pretty neat place.
Yes.
I guess we just walk to the other end and
So-
then go out, huh?
Portals are volcanoes on the inside? That's interesting. maybe we're underground?
Well, best
still?
not to chip at the walls, I suppose.
Wasn't planning on it.
But
Forward, I guess?
And Renali, coming through with you, of course, because she wants to go home, has been probably the predominant pusher to, can we please fix this? Looks around at it. This is not what I came through here. It was not this stone and fire. It was much like area outside. It was worked stone, tiles even.
Well, maybe it's one directional on those kind of things.
I haven't the foggiest.
Well, something we could investigate when we come back, I suppose, if the intermittent quarter changes.
I mean, it's always possible that the pathways are different every time you travel it, and
Seems needlessly complicated.
well,
This could also be the effects of us realigning the portal.
Well,
that's also
Glad we aligned
that
it
is
to
true.
something.
somebody did blow a huge amount of fiery something through that door, which is what broke it. Maybe all of
I
this is just
did-
the fallout.
I did hear. When I came through, I followed the Cinder Claws to see what they were after. And that room we came from is small, no cover. I had to run. I had to escape. That same way we came in, that hole in the ceiling is how I got away. I climbed up and they could not follow. But I heard an explosion. Mighty blast not long after. Maybe
You're mean to
something
telling me
happened.
that you just walked into this weird foggy thing after these people that you hate with no concern for yourself? Don't you have a family? Wouldn't they be worried about you?
Her face darkens a bit.
We could say the same
No.
about you, buddy.
Not really.
We've been planning on going through this thing for weeks, man. She just followed these guys in
I had
nilly-willy.
been tracking the Cinder Claws for some time, helping the Equijay, seeing what they were doing, but I did not know what this was. They all marched through, confident. I did not have much time to think. There were many more on the far side. I slipped past them and through after. If it was some source of power, something they could have used, I could not simply let them have it.
You've been at odds with the Cinder Claws for quite some time, it sounds.
Not all things are better in the jungle, I am afraid.
Well, maybe we can
Still
help to
don't.
make something right.
If this hopefully still leads the same way. But this tunnel. The tunnel I came through was same size, same general shape.
Well, it's
But-
possible that if they made a big enough explosion and this thing sits on some sort of a fault line or some sort of a mountain, it could have caused a magma flow.
I do not know. I study some of magic, but I have not had time to study these portals, these gates.
Well, maybe we'll learn more about it when we come at it. If the misalignment causing the fire backlash, perhaps the portal was aiming just slightly onto the other side of that wall. Maybe that would explain it.
Hey,
But where the original word corridor went.
now that I have lore Ayudara, does it seem logical that that might have been what happened?
So you've been studying up on in a month or so while you've been trying to get this all back together?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a lore Ayudara. Let's see what you get here. You've done as much research as you can
Hey.
in Breach
That would be
anyway.
a nat 20, so a 29. Because if it's meaningless and in downtime, I'm gonna roll a 20.
You exclusively get 20s on these knowledge checks.
This is what you've been studying. It's fresh on your mind.
So what you've found is that Alcetta's ring itself was almost a prototype. There are still Ayudara, like the Elven Kingdom still use them today. These gates are not commonplace, but they're obviously incredibly difficult to manufacture, to set up, to enchant, but they still use them. This was almost the progenitor of all of that. And when they put together Alcetta's ring, this somewhere which was once a height of elven civilization. It's now middle of nowhere, Isker. Like pre-Earthfall, a really long time ago. They didn't quite have the ability to weave magic that would link two places together seamlessly. So what they did instead was connected it through a demiplane. So what you have found in your month of research is that every portal in Alcetta's Ring connects to the same demiplane, which then connects to the destinations. So where you are now isn't even an actual place. It's almost not real. It's just an interim between Alcetta's Ring and whatever the destination. And what shape, what form it could take, could be anything, based on the wishes of its designer or even those passing through, if they knew enough. And good question, Resume. Have a hero point.
Oh.
Tim Buff's apparently got a pretty good stack, and he's handing one out here too. We're gonna get loaded up
Rocket?
before we step through.
Thank you. What was the name again?
Tim Buff.
Tim Buff.
Same one who just given one to Rare.
I like Tim Buff. And Buff Tim.
Mad skills and lore deserves 0 points. He says.
So after that, Resume will nod. This is going to be very, very interesting for my research. We should go though, because I don't know a lot about these demiplanes. I don't know how stable this one is because of whatever happened here, and I don't really want to stick around and find out.
I agree. Something has happened here. Something dramatic. Do not wish to be here if it happens again, for sure.
Well, fair enough then. Well, it seems that the exit is right down there. Perhaps we should head on down and see what we find.
Weapons ready.
Of course.
Yep.
So Esmus is pulling up. I mean, most of you probably already had him out before you went to the portal
Oh, yeah.
first place,
Yeah.
because you had no idea what was going to be on the other side of this. And as far as you know, it's 20 million Cinder Claws. So, I mean, weapons out just kind of seems like it was the smart way to walk through this.
We got shield and spirit fingers.
But as you do proceed through this tunnel and through the portal beyond, on guard here, what are you all doing as you pass, Esmus?
I will stealth.
You hide kind of more behind everybody
Everybody
else.
else,
Hang
yeah.
back a little bit. Not a lot of cover here, really, but at least you won't be the first person they notice.
Yep.
Rare?
We're learning. Recalling some knowledges.
You're just fascinated, really.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Resume?
I'm going to be spotting, because I've already detected what magic I'm going to detect here.
Yeah, this entire area just has that same overwhelming art of conjuration. It doesn't seem like, even if there were something else, you would never show up.
So I'm just going to be searching.
All right, keeping your eyes out. Dalren?
I will be scouting. Because I'm sure that there could be something here Cinder Claws might be poking around.
No faith whatsoever.
I had a feeling.
Buford up in the front. His fancy new shield raised. And I did mention last episode that to save us all 2 hours of the shopping episode of just inventorying and whatnot, that a lot of our interactions with Salsartad and some of our efforts to move runes around with crafting checks that would be no trouble for any of us to pass at this point would be something we would resolve later. So we have done a bit of that. Most of the striking runes that we have found from various weapons we've collected have been moved onto Esmus's longbow and Buford's warhammer. I think your Gisarm as well. And the armor rune's largely the same. And seeing as Buford didn't have a shield at all,
After the bark
kind of
after
scrap metal.
Techlash just annihilated it, everyone kind of saw fit to pull together what resources they had to invest in a dramatically better one. And fortunately, Salsartad had a pretty interesting one of those flat swords you can strap to your arm there. One he had before, basically just kind of a metal rectangular dinner plate. It sort of helped out. It definitely puts a thing between you and the people that have the other swords you don't like so much. But this one's got flat sword magic. Nearly indestructible. Resists basically anything you could possibly throw at it. Indestructible flat sword strapped to your arm. A sturdy shield, as a regular person would call it. Largely just a steel shield with a pretty heavy abjuration enchantment on it to make it dramatically more resilient. And fortunately for Buford, the day after that he had purchased it, he felt that spirit, that energy, whatever that holy blessing that had come to him before, return into this new shield as well. So you basically just have like an entire tank on your arm. And we're gonna hold that one forward and walk that way slowly. So go ahead and arrange yourselves however you would like to be here.
Pretty standard arrangement.
Yeah.
Yeah,
buddy.
you got a pretty good idea of it, actually.
Yep.
Oh, Renali's not on the board, though. I'm not sure if you want her to be.
Oh, I can add her, I suppose.
Yes, we have.
Yeah,
her
I don't
figured,
have her
but there's
token.
tokens.
Let me add her in real quick. Good news with this here Arcanforge, I can do that relatively easily by just doing this. Bam, bam, bam. Renali.
Ta-da!
She's probably not going to be right there, but where do you want her?
There's fine.
There's fine.
That's a little forward.
Like beside
Yeah,
She
me.
can
there
go
you go.
wherever
Maybe
she
like
would
here.
like.
Yeah, just put her beside
Renali
me.
does not have any armor. Like, she doesn't really.
And the
have
last
any-
time I
stop
saw her,
her
she
from
literally
attacking the-
ran up to the
yeah.
boss and
Well,
tried to bite him.
She was mad. It was a different time. This is, well, nobody really knows what this is.
This is Portal Quiet Time.
So as the group of you progress forward,
I don't know why we moved there.
I'm gonna move the screen
Yeah.
back so it will put you back where you were. Down the hallway here, the faint glow of the tunnel itself, giving you enough light to really see as you progress. You end up about halfway down, slowly looking, heads on swivels. Nothing changing, nothing happening, no hordes of cinder claws rushing through the other end, spears raised or anything. But
Hell, for all we know, a few of them got caught in whatever happened here.
let me get a perception check from, I believe it's just resume that's seeking right now.
It's gonna be a 18.
18. So as you all march forward, without any sort of warning whatsoever, from seemingly nowhere, a blast and a roar as a surge of fire erupts out of the ground directly in front of you. What looks at first to just be a blast coming up from the cooled magma making the floor of this tunnel, instead of fading or dying away, only grows, swelling as the flames coalesce together into the form of an enormous fiery dragon,
Huh.
birthed
Oh, baby.
and made from these flames itself. Its head turned towards you, high up near the top of the tunnel, wings spread near the full width of the passageway. And as it arrives, its head rearing back, the fire manifesting up towards its mouth. Take this.
Huh.
Well, it was nice knowing y'all.
New adventure.
You got a nice big shield there.
Hero point, hero point, hero point.
Are going to roll some initiative.
It's not asking us to show the all set as symbol and we're okay. It doesn't say that.
Doesn't seem particularly interested. No.
Doesn't seem to care.
Oh, +1 for everybody because I'm
Oh,
like.
yeah, he is in
Thank
fact
you.
scouting, so it's what? It's a dragon!
I know what that is.
I know what that is.
All right, Esphus,
17.
I've learned. You go over there. Rare,
16.
You're disappointing
how you do
everyone.
this to me? I was sure 17 was going to be the bottom.
Now he rolled a 1, I rolled a 2.
Dalren,
28.
There you go.
Resme,
24.
24. Had to make a little more space in here. And Buddy,
24.
also 24. Who wants to go first?
Buddy.
I'll go first.
Man with shield who was in front of Dragon. Sounds like it's a pretty good one there. Pretty safe bet. Okay, let me throw Renali real quick. She's gonna get a 22. Renali's just gonna pop right in the middle.
It's morphin time.
And then we get Dragon Literally Made of Fire. I'm gonna get a 34.
Jesus.
It's the fun.
I like how
And-
arranged into a roughly cone-shaped formation.
And what is the knowledge check for this individual?
This is going to be Arcana.
That's a 1. That's a 2, actually, because my intelligence is a little higher.
Woo!
Smart.
2 now. Oh, you got slightly smarter since our last adventure.
Just slightly.
I'm gonna...
Brace for impact!
See, now, to be fair, on a critical failure, you would normally misidentify it, but you have +2, and this is a DC 24. So I feel like Ruger is largely at the point where he is fully aware that he has no clue. It appears to be a literal dragon made purely of fire. This is so far beyond you. This is fine, by the way.
Okay.
That you are absolutely clueless.
I have no idea what that is. Run!
And as it arrives, it is in fact going to let loose a massive gout of fire, awash across the party. It is going to hit everybody, launching so far down the tunnel that this wave of flame incinerates the portal itself at the far end, nearly reaching through the fire. A 60-foot cone of dragon's fire. I'm going to need a reflex save from everybody.
20.
Ooh, Renali critically failed.
I will spend
Renali
my session
rerolls.
reroll.
Halfling luck.
Shared luck.
Renali got a nat 1.
Renali
also
got
got
a
that
not
right,
nat
so
1.
I-
Renali has a 26.
There you go.
Shared luck
That's
coming
Buford's.
in
Buford
hot.
session reroll. All right, Esvis,
28.
28, you will succeed.
20.
20 will fail.
25.
25 will fail.
19.
19 will fail.
26.
26 will succeed. Renali's 26 will also succeed. So, if you succeeded,
Desert Elf Heritage.
you're going to take half.
Gonna take half.
800.
I mean,
It's going to be 30 damage.
okay.
That's
so
half?
30 is full.
Oh, okay.
Half is 15. Well, some people failed. Some people failed. No.
He's going to take
30's half. Bam! And that's Age of Ashes, everybody.
Yeah, that's the joke. The whole Age of Ashes is just a joke for Paizo. There is no book 3, 4, 5.
It's actually just it was a 1-book module, and everyone dies at the end.
Oh no, you killed Espis. He's so shocked. Your
So
heart-
as it blasts this wave of fire surging down the tunnel across everybody, the dragon starts to lose form a bit, giving back into just a massive burst of fire, almost puffing out into a cloud of smoke, barely still there. Doran.
It's just gonna blast me and leave? No. If ever the blast of fire blows the monocle off his face and lightning crackles up. I have no idea if this is going to work, but I don't have time to really be cagey about it. So you've put me kind of right on a line between two squares if you
Yeah,
want to
we'll
adjust
say
me.
it's up to you, whichever you want to be on.
I'd
No,
like
I
to
don't
be
mind.
forward if you wouldn't
I
mind.
kind of figured you'd probably appreciate that. Yeah, I'm just arrange this a little more into actual tiles.
There we go. First, I'll take a strike at it to see if I can whack it. And oh wow, that's a lot of math. 31 hit.
A 31 will actually hit.
All right.
31 misses. Good luck.
Yeah, see you, nerds.
Striking rune, Gisarm, that's going to be 12 plus new damage. that goes to 20 lightning damage.
All right. So as you swing your geese arm through this flaming dragon here, your blade passes through like it's absolutely nothing. It has no physical body whatsoever. But the magic on your geese arm and the lightning flowing through from your rage do manage to catch and surge a bit through the manifestation of whatever this thing is, dealing 20 damage.
Okay. We can hurt it. And then I'm going to start to move out of convenient
Cone
range, and I'm going to move over to... Actually, I can get right behind it, I think. I'm pretty quick now. Speed 35.
5, 10, 15. Yeah, you can absolutely get right behind it with a single move action there.
I'm going to do that.
Single stride. Sorry, this is second edition.
Spin around to the side and run past it. Now that we have pincered it.
Just drag the geese arm through it as you run past.
Oh, you're right.
I know, I learned my lesson. I don't do that again.
So beautiful.
Last time I tried that anime nonsense, I fell over.
I'm gonna try and run around the other side so that I'm at the opposite corner.
What's your speed?
25.
25 would get you
No,
almost...
like over here. Like
Yeah, no.
diagonal
You're in
across.
the right. You're in the
25
right.
would get you almost all the way around it.
Okay, and then
My bad for misunderstanding.
I'm going to yell, "You stupid dragon! You look over here, you fat piece of lard!" And really try and intimidate this thing.
I yell at the fire!
Okay, let's see here.
The fire could be
With
intimidating.
a good 22 there. 20.
20. This creature does not even seem to pay any heed to your existence. As it's dissipating into smoke, it does not even acknowledge that you and Dalren are running around it. It doesn't turn towards you. It does not. It's like it literally does not react to what you're doing. It's just fading.
Huh. Okay. I'm gonna raise my shield again just in case.
Resume.
Resume's gonna follow Dalren 25 feet.
Okay. Thank you. Keep going. I'm just fixing his
No,
thing.
you're fine. And she'll wave her hands in a kind of warding signature and yell out Revelarum Veritat and dispel magic.
Just walk up to it and slap it with a no, go away.
Pretty much.
Resume, why are you right next to the fire dragon?
Didn't we just talk?
Because I didn't want to get hit with fire again. And it's pointing that way.
Haha. I can fix that real quick. Okey-dokey.
So dispel magic.
And as you conjure up your magic there and attempt to you're just trying to dispel the thing itself.
Yeah. Unravel the magic behind a spell or effect.
Okie dokie. So then you make me your counteract check, correct?
Yep.
Okay. At what level is this dispel magic being cast at?
I am casting it at the highest level I can because I have
it's your
no
signature spell, isn't it?
Is it
Yeah,
signature?
it is
So
my
3.
signature.
So
So
you cast as a third level then,
Yeah.
because you're level 5 now.
that's gonna be a session reroll because that is a not good enough.
That is not good
These
enough.
are not good enough indeed.
It literally just said that on the D20.
That is only
Slightly better.
marginally better.
What do we got?
That is gonna be a 19.
With a 19, as you cast, you feel your dispel magic. You feel your spell land on something. That is the essence of this fire dragon here. But it is far too powerful for that to have had any chance of dispelling it. It's unfazed. Renali has no idea what to do, but she sees everyone kind of running past and just calls out, "We run for the far portal? Is this what we are doing?" And we'll also run back past with everybody because she doesn't have like anything she can do against this fire dragon whatsoever. Esvis.
How far away is the other side?
So you can see that down the tunnel The thing is about 100 feet long in general, and this dragon manifested about halfway through it. So from where Dalren and Renali are, it's about 50 feet. From where you are, probably about 80.
Okay. I am going to. Now that we're efficiently split up, I will. Does it have anything discernible that I can mark it as prey?
You can absolutely mark it as prey, yes. I mean, the thing itself, prey is a state of mind, really. It's not a physical thing. You're like, that specific point there is my prey. It's like that, the fire dragon is my prey. It's like for you.
Okay.
Think of it as a self buff rather than an enemy debuff.
Sounds good. Then I will mark it as prey. Quickly pull 2 arrows from my quiver, or one of my many. Knock them and
9 quivers.
And send 2 spiraling arrows with hunted shot 4. 22.
A 22. Your arrows will absolutely pass through the main mass that is this thing, but just sail completely through,
Okay, so
impacting nothing, and eventually striking against the magma at the far end of the chamber.
okay. Second shot. Yeah, so they both just twirl through and
Yeah, while his lightning seemed to do something, your arrows are just passing through harmlessly.
running to the other side seems like a very good idea. And I will take a third shot just because.
As we're here.
Fishing for 20s. No, half a 1.
Yeah, that's a 2. That's the first part.
Yeah.
Rur.
While quite uncertain of what to do in the face of a thing I don't understand, I know that hurt. And I know that if I run to that portal, it cannot hurt me again.
Okay. So
we hope.
So
I'm going to 75 feet, full 3 move. Just leave.
So you can get all the way to the edge of your field of view.
We're leaving. We'll heal outside.
As Rur just blows past Dalren and Resme, smoldering, hair on fire, just runs by as fast as his little halfling legs can carry him. And then the fire dragon itself dissipates entirely.
Are you
into
serious?
A puff of smoke. Simply just gone.
Thank God.
Before a second blast of flame immediately remanifests it on the southern end of the chamber.
Oh, you
Its head turned down low, now set to spray fire up across the width of it, catching Resme, Dalren, Buddy, and Renali in its blast. And
We're leaving.
as this fire blows forward, spraying across the northern wall of this tube, the magma where it's blown against starts to glow red, almost being melted by the sheer fury of this dragon's fire. So I'm gonna need reflex saves from
Thank
this
God.
side of the table.
Yeah, that'll be a 30.
30 will succeed.
I'm gonna give you this session reroll.
Resme is gonna fail.
What?
Resme is going to fail to 17.
You mean Renali?
Renali.
Yeah, because I got a
The
nat
look of
20.
You got a nat 20? Oh,
Yeah.
well then you critically succeed.
Oh,
That's an
okay.
important part of information
sorry.
to include.
I got a
That-
nat 20.
So you take nothing. You're close enough that you can duck under the thing's head. You got a nat 20? You also critically succeed then.
The full plate's just too thick.
I'm gonna get a 22.
22 will fail. So you and Renali are both going to be taking the full damage from this.
He's rolling a second
The 22.
22. All right. Minus 2 from fire resistance. 20. Temporary hit points come off.
So as Renali takes this one, she staggers backwards, almost falling over, and just calls out, "We have to go! I cannot take another of those!"
Well, start running then.
Dalren. And as it breathes again, its form just starts to fade back into smoke.
I'm definitely noticing a pattern. All of you get out. I'll hold it.
Aw, hell you will, and you get out here. Shoot, man.
You gonna hold?
Uh,
Or are you gonna do stuff?
I'll delay.
Okay. Buddy.
I'm gonna hold, and you get out of here, man. Don't tell me how to live my life.
Stop telling me to have a magical day!
Stop telling me how to live my life while I tell you how to live your life. Now go.
My
So
advice
are
is
you
better
also
because I don't
delaying?
take any damage.
Are you delaying too?
Yes.
Okay, so Dalren and Buddy are both stand there, both holding the line, yelling at the other to retreat. Resume.
How far is it to the other end of the tunnel?
The portal from you is about 65 feet away.
I'm going to move all 65 feet and stop right before I go through the portal because I'm not going out through that portal alone.
Okay, I'm gonna move this map a little bit.
Actually,
so that you
do I
can
want to
see
go
everybody.
through the portal? Oh, yes, I do. Go through the portal.
So Resume just runs through the portal. Resume's gone. Resume takes the opportunity. You two yelling at each other. Okay, through the portal.
Deuces.
Good.
Renali is absolutely going to follow suit, though admittedly a bit slower, almost stumbling as she goes. You see her body kind of flicker and shift a bit, bits of her skin occasionally replaced with blue patches of carapace with little bits of stiff hairs coming through them as she starts losing the ability to keep her guys up. And she also follows and just dives through the portal, but turning on briefly before she does. Come on, hurry! Esphus.
I'm going to take 3 strides and gone, and as I'm doing so, just calling back, Bonnie will bring you back and kill you if you don't follow.
Also taking off through the portal, leaving just Rur, Dalren, and Buford.
Just
the
Dalren. Get out of here. We're not dealing with this thing. Just leave. And then immediately running out.
Nod.
Now their manliness.
That was the easiest last stand I've ever done. That was great. Great rear guard. Great rear guard.
The two of you very, very swiftly following, taking absolutely no further chances as you sprint through the portal, leaving this flaming dragon's form behind you before it can lay out another blast. And as you run, the heat of this tunnel, it was a good deal warmer than Alcetta's Ring originally, but now that was fire blown through it easily, 105, 110 degrees, doesn't seem to lessen particularly quickly. And as you run through the mist of this portal, it almost feels more like actual mist. Wet, heavy, and humid, cloying heat. Somehow almost feeling more severe as you push through. And just a wall of moisture running out as your vision finally frees from this misty cloud to see before you a temple. A ruined temple, certainly. Bits of walls, pillars, floors, errantly just kind of scattered around in a very open-air kind of format. It's clear that this was never really a massive jungle to begin, or a massive temple to begin with. It was just an open-air thing in the center of the jungle that opens up now around you. Most of the temple ruins are smeared black with soot, and there's charred branches and clumps of roots that mark out what must once have been a garden placed around the stand of this portal, which is just freestanding on the edge of this large clearing. Not set into any wall or anything. Open from both sides. In the middle of all these bits of ruins, there is a wooden pillar that looks very different from everything else that's set here. It's very rough. It's very simply hewn. And perched atop it is what looks like a wooden carved skull of a dragon, about half completed. Largely just base shapes and rough lumps. Next to that only lays a simple sack of cloth. And in every direction all around you, the sounds and sights of this massive Mwangi jungle open up. You can't see very far in any direction simply due to just how thick the trees and everything around are. You can hear the sounds of birds, wildlife, insects, definitely insects, mostly insects, everywhere. Oh. And, also,
Another dragon.
I suppose it's worth mentioning. There's about 50 elves, bows drawn, all aimed at you as you stumble out of this portal.
Why do Mother's messages always have to be so cryptic?
The elves do not relax their draws or anything as the six of you with Renali all come forth from this portal. In fact, if anything, they only grow more stern, readying their aim, each of them directing their arrows at a different one of you, making sure the whole of the party is marked and held.
Hold a hand up. Close it.
And as the last of you come through, a few seconds later, as you're even saying that, the shimmering portal behind you simply gives out.
Rusme will hold up her hands and say, in Mwangi, we came here with Renali. We are not friends of the Cinder Claws. We're here to help.
And Renali is also there with you and puts her hands up as she's looking around. They are friends. They are, and realizes she's speaking common and switches over to Mwangi as well. They are friends. They are enemies of the Cinder Claws. They've slain their high priest that came with them. Make me a diplomacy check, Resme.
That's what Tiggers do best.
I mean, you have the claw on your hand, don't you?
I do.
You have the Cinder Claw.
He's literally wearing it. That's going to be a 27.
All right, a 27.
Where don't become pincushion.
With a 27. Link 1429 gives me a villain point. But I'm just going to add to my nice little stash here.
What's
This is
that?
why we can't
17 now?
It's 4, sir.
I wonder how many villain points you
Imagine
can spend to make them
having
all shoot us
4.
regardless.
Ridiculous.
It's almost
Imagine
like he
having
wants me
4.
to just kill everybody right now. So, as you speak out, though none of these elves move immediately, none of them lose their grips or anything, all of you can see these are very different elves than Dalren and Resume. They are much more darker skinned, wearing very different clothing. What appears to be almost very incredibly darker skin compared to Mr. Forlorn over here, who is like just white paste all over his body, basically. They have intricate but very different leather armor, adorned with different trophies and strange designs that don't really match anything. I mean, you two, with your knowledge and your study of Mwangi, maybe would recognize some of it, but it's a far cry from anything that you have ever seen back in Breachel. Especially for Buford, they are going to look almost completely alien to you, though they are visibly still elves of some form. As you call that out, after a moment, one of the elves, set apart from the others a little bit by some jewelry. He has a fairly large golden necklace draped around him, and golden bracers set on each wrist as well. None of the other elves have any visible jewelry at all. He steps forward, breaking from this line. No bow in hand. In fact, he appears to be the only one who does not currently have his weapons out. Though he does have one slung across his back. His hands down to his sides, palms facing outward, not bearing any kind of weapons at all. And he calls out, almost confused. Renali, it has been some time since you followed the Cinder Claws through this portal. But it is good to see you alive. And better still, see that you bring friends.
I'm
And then
translating.
and as you're translating that, he's kind of watches you sort of amused for about 3 stops. And then turns to the party again. And in common, I am Renavo of the Leopard Clan. My mother is of the River Clan.
Rusme will bow and say, we are, your, guests and are happy to be of service. We will do no harm to your people and will help you however we can.
And he kind of smiles at this and puts a hand up and sort of waves to the rest of the elves around. They do not release their bows or remove their arrows. They do loose their bowstrings and lower them. And he just waves a hand. Do not worry. If you have come here with Renali, I am sure you are friends.
What was his name again?
Renalo.
I'm so glad to see friends on this side. There was this horrific dragon on the passageway in between, and I have no clue why it's there or how it got there, but I am so glad that it is there and we are here.
Now with that, his smile kind of fades. That is the darkness sealed within this gate, within the Ayudara. That's been sealed there for many, many years, safe to say.
I guess that's one way to get rid of a creature you have no easy way of dealing with. Chuck it in a gate and turn it off.
It's strange that they would do that, though, as the passageway links all of the Ayudara. You would think maybe they did it because they don't want anyone using the gates.
It isn't certainly a long story, to be sure, and one certainly better told by a linguist. I know some Daldane, some.
I know Mwangi.
She would do much better than I.
All right.
You are in the Ekajai lands, some distance east of the Lurgeni coast, as the humans call it. And if you come as friends, if you come with Renali, you will be treated here as friends.
Would it be okay for me to cast a spell? We took some damage through there.
You can see that you're all a fair bit incinerated.
Yeah, a bit on fire.
After
We're
what has
crispy.
happened. I mean, Buford's largely okay. He's mostly alright, but some of you are varying degrees of very, very burned. And he kind of looks across the group a bit as Rur asks. He steps up to you. I can help some with that, and reaches a hand down towards you. And without any words or anything, a very quick bit of light glows up in his hands. As he touches it to you, you just feel this calm, and as your pain subsides here immediately, and you get 24 health back. Now, as he gets up closer, you can see he's got a pretty big bandage across his neck. It's still dark with blood. It's clearly fairly fresh.
Well, I don't speak Mwangi. His Talder is bad, but I do know
Well, all
Elven.
this he's saying is in Taldane, so
Oh,
I mean,
okay,
it's
okay.
not that bad. Because the only very first thing to Renali was in Mwangi. Everything since has been in common. You guys
Okay.
all understand him.
He couldn't hold like a consistent, long, in-depth conversation.
You couldn't
on
debate the finer
scientific-
points
yeah.
of politics, but like he is perfectly
Conversational.
functional at talking. Yeah.
Thank you for hosting us, and thank you for helping, but it seems as though you've all been into a bit of action. Are the Cinder Claws still about this area?
Not anymore. At least we hope for now. We were attacked by Cheruka and the Boggards, all these Cinder Claws, but they had some stronger, who were much more stronger than those they come before, much more than any Cheruka or Boggard we had fought. They had claws, scales, breath of fire, but this is no excuse. And he kind of stiffens up a bit. I had to order retreats so we could regroup, but we returned and fought them off. Ran them for now. But not before they had opened that gate. And some went through.
I see. So you are who we have to thank for not truly drowning in their invading force, then.
I suppose you have me to blame for suffering any of them at all.
Well, we are able to deal with them well enough. And now it seems...
He kind of steps back away from Rur as he, you hold up the cinder cloak on him. He steps back from it. It's kind of like with an odd look, but doesn't say anything. Clearly a bit visibly disturbed.
Yeah, but it seems that we have common enemies here, and a common enemy could also mean that we could be common friends.
This is as much as I could hope. When I saw the portal open, I did not know what would come through. I know the darkness is still within, and I must ask, given your state, did you meet it?
Oh, indeed. It's quite fearsome. We'll be better prepared next time, I think.
It is shame to us that our problems have traveled through to wherever beyond you hail from. That we could not contain the Cinder Claws, but I doubt the darkness has forgotten the Ekojai in all the years it has spent within.
Perhaps it is Alcetta's will that we are here.
And he nods and kind of looks at your necklace a little curiously. Perhaps, but truth be told, Ketefis, Alcetta, whoever it is that sends you here, I thank them this day for their aid.
She'll smile. Rur, you had promised a salve, something cool and nice. I'm feeling a little bit barbecued.
Yes,
And he turns back away from you and calls out in Mwangi. Return back to your patrols. Head back to the jungles. Make sure the Cinder Claws have been routed from the area. No danger is here. Benali returns with friends. Make sure no dangers find us. And take them to Aquavel.
Aqua?
And he says that all in Mwangi as you're talking to her.
And I will go on ahead and channel a 3-action heal just over the lot of us.
And you conjure it up. You got the big heal now, don't you? We throwing out 3d8 to everybody?
3d10
No, we're 3d10 to everybody. We got the big heal.
for 14.
I'll take it.
So everybody gets 14 health back.
Thank you.
And some of the Ekojai archers stationed up around kind of look at that with amusement and grin a bit as they're all putting their arrows back in their quivers and slinging their bows back over their shoulders. A couple of them nod and exchange some brief words. And Ravo turns back around to you. That... I may not know much of the, what is word for the Lumbo, but that energy I know. You are a priest?
Yes, of Saren Ray, the god of the sun and healing.
Not familiar with that one. But if you bear such blessings as that from those divines above and below, certainly you walk in good faith.
I tried to.
You all certainly look like you could use some rest. Aquavel is not far. Ekujai City. There you will meet my daughter. She can explain much better than I.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll follow you.
Are you all well enough to travel?
I'm all right.
It will be a few miles through the jungle.
Walked further with worse condition, I suppose.
It's been a while since I've trekked through a jungle, but I think I'll remember how soon enough.
So as you guys, Renavo kind of smiles, very well done, and turns around and starts walking. You notice he gives the weird little half-done wooden pillar in the center of the area a a fairly wide berth, going a good bit out of his way to not get closer than 10 or 15 feet to the thing.
Suppose we'll follow in suit.
I almost want to kick it over.
Why are these trees so damn big?
It's a different place. They probably have never seen mountains like we have.
It's kind of weird. Like, don't they ever stop growing?
You want to know what's really weird? Since I walked through that, my hair has curled.
Look at those wispies. Oh boy, I bet your mom, you were such a cute kid. I bet your mom thought you, I better find some pictures of you when you were a kid.
You should put on a hat. You're gonna toast really quickly if you don't.
There's enough shade in these trees. You just got to do some wiggling, waggling around the sunspots.
I'm going to die.
Walks through you just walk through a sunspot and see it start to sizzle.
Leaves a visible streak.
Starts to actually
The
just
light hurts him.
catch fire slowly. So, as you guys start to move away and follow him north up through these ruins, he kind of stops for a brief moment and turns back around to face the group of you. So, the Cinder Claws, they came through to wherever you come from. Did they have anything like this? And he points down to the wooden pillar. I mean, it's a pretty big structure. Not something you can easily kick over. I don't feel like it's described it super well. It's about 5-6 feet tall. Like it's a pretty big totem, really, more than a pillar. Just on this slanted wooden base leading up to the half-carved dragon head with a little sack on the bottom of it. Did they have anything like this?
I don't think they'd gotten a chance to set anything up like that. If they did have something like that, it must have gotten lost. There was quite a bit of damage when they came through, and a number of their raiding party were crushed by falling stone.
No, but
He makes a strange little hand sign where he puts his hand up sideways and then turns it up, back of his palm towards you, just real quick. That's his only response to that immediately.
my
It looks like a dismissive gesture.
What lore do you have? You've studied some Mwangi stuff, right?
I've got elven lore, Mwangi lore.
Okay, with a combination of elven and Mwangi, roll me pick one of those.
I'll take elven. That's gonna be 21.
It is kind of dismissive. It's more like a good riddance kind of thing. Like,
Okay.
oh, they got crushed. And you're just like, yes,
Glad
bro.
they're gone.
Yeah,
yeah.
for the best.
That's the equivalent of us doing like that.
Yeah, it's just like. But he nods.
I think that you will find that our desert elf friend here has quite the collection if you'd like to show.
Well, I wasn't going to show off right now, but essentially we find this is actually. He'll just open his sack. If this is how many made it through before we were able to stop them.
And he would reach out and look in the sack and just see the pile of the Cinder Claw badges. And just oh, this is all the work of the 6 of you.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
You certainly did your people proud that day.
And we will continue to do so. We've
We
in a
might
way.
need a bigger bag before too long.
I have brought some.
Good.
Seriously, they can hold like 8 bulk worth of freaking badges.
We did so well, we incorporated.
So you, what's your holy symbol of Serenade made of?
I would imagine it's just kind of a. I wrote it down actually.
Just curiosity. And does Risme have a bunch of jewelry on?
Resme has her silver medallion, her mother's necklace, and probably just a simple pair of earrings with druidic symbols on them.
I did not write it down. I just have the basic kit, so it would just be wooden.
Okay, so
Oh, and her headpiece.
her headpiece, which is mostly is exactly that thing right
Yes.
there. So it's little like
Leaves and
incense
brass
leaves and
and-
stuff. So he'd look. That is good work to be sure. Oh, this is what is word? This is luck. This is great luck. that the Cinder Claws go somewhere they can be stopped. The influence does not spread. They do not become more of a threat. The Dash Shame does not grow.
It seems that you know quite a bit about them and have struggled with them for some time. Could you share what you know? To our eyes, they seem to be simply violent raiders.
As you guys are walking through the jungle, as you talk now, just under way.
Having to raise our voices because of the
They-
bugs.
There's no way to understand the Cinder Claws. None that I can, and that explanation, again, perhaps best left for my daughter. She's the one that taught me Talden. She's, you know much more than me. Can explain much better. I sometimes have hard time finding word.
We can, and Darn will switch to Elven. We can switch to our ancestral tongue if it makes you more comfortable.
And he would reply also back in Elven, admittedly surprising. I don't know, I did not assume the language would have spread so far. But I suppose it's the work of the Ayodara in the first place.
Possibly, and also our people live
So I
very
switched
long
to a language
lives.
that Buddy's now, he got a brief moment of
I'm-
knowing what he was talking about.
I have no problem just walking along happy. I'm a happy
Just
guy.
smiling.
And you're
happy to
plodding,
be
just
here.
plodding in full plate through the Mwangi
looking-
jungle.
well, I'm looking
Sinking
around.
up.
He's gonna get a little warm.
It's
Pretty
gonna get
cool place.
real warm.
I'll do like loose translations just so Buddy doesn't feel left out.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm enjoying the sights.
But our people live long and can walk far. Plus, I grew up in Osirian, not too far from here. Certainly closer than where I live now.
Syrian is the desert northeast of here. Not actually that far, really. I hear once that one of the Ayodar once linked to the desert of your people there. So that is where Hunter's Gate leads then. Leads to the Osirian desert?
No. I was born there, but I live with them now. It's far to the north, across the desert, across the sea, past the desert, and then across much land and mountains after the sea.
Much
The
further than I have
reaches,
ever been, to be sure.
The Ayodar reaches far.
It was once a great service to portals that they link up all ends of the empires, all ends of the worlds, all ends of the elven peoples together.
Maybe it can be again someday. There will, of course, need to be something to dealt with that darkness that lurks.
Not
in
that
the
one. Alceta's ring is forsaken now. There is no hope for that. And the best we can dream is the darkness remains within. It does not get any stronger, which, if the Cinder Claws have much to say about it, forget this, my daughter will explain. I hunt. I'm Kaledi. I do not have much of the knowledge in this research. I don't know much of them. I only lead our people defending against their attacks.
Of course. Whatever you feel comfortable with.
Thorin, you're not gonna believe this, but my mom sent me a message that she had a dream with almost that exact pillar in it, surrounded by fire.
Oh.
I think this is what she was seeing. I think this is what she's been trying to tell me. I think this is where we're supposed to be, and she actually gets really, really excited.
Definitely understand the excitement. After all, watching a draconic cult in action. Although I'm unsure of how much actual draconic influence is actually present here. But it could.
Is this all still Elven, or do you?
No,
go
I'm
Common?
assuming you've switched back to Talder.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
and I'm gonna
Talden,
say
Talden,
to him in
sorry.
Mwangi, if you want anything else to happen today, you need to stop him from talking about dragons.
He just laughs and replies in Mwangi, "There's no trouble. It's good to see one that takes an interest in things."
Yeah, interest.
See? Good to see you take some.
This is in Mwangi.
Where's Mwangi?
Yeah.
So, as you continue a little further in the jungle, after about 20, 30 minutes of walking, it's starting to get real sweaty.
Yeah.
You guys had no idea where this was. I mean, you guys had a general idea it was going to lead to the Mwangi jungles, but if those of you who have been here haven't been for years or decades, and those of you who are Buford or Espis or Rur have never been anywhere like this, and especially Buddy in his full body armor and his full plate. It's like 96 degrees down here, and
Not
it
to worry,
is
guys. The sweat has gotten even enough that it's just a slip and slide in here.
incredibly humid to match. It
gonna
is
suction cup off
basically
your body.
Florida, but somehow worse.
Do your people evolve gills to breathe in this place?
It takes some getting used to. In a couple days, it'll feel better.
It's definitely not the heat I was used to, but
I doubt that highly.
There are spells for climates like this. I think I'll start looking into those as sweat pours down my face.
yeah, so
So you guys are starting to sweat out a bit. He lets out a sharp whistle, piercing almost loud into the jungles, which after a few moments you hear repeated from far off in the distance. And he turns back over his shoulders as you are all still walking. It is still a long way to Akrivel. We can rest here is safe if you need a moment.
I'm okay to keep going, but
Just
if you
not
think-
used to the climate. We'll be okay.
I'll let you know if I'm about to faint.
You'll hear a thunk.
Actually, Dalrin has heat resistance from Desert Elf heritage, so he actually treats heat
Yes,
as
so
one level
you're
less.
not,
So
but
I'm
it's
probably
mild.
fine,
It's
actually.
mild heat, basically.
Yeah.
It's
And I'm
mild
wearing
heat
leather armor. I
constantly.
put my heavy hide away. And
So
I'm
yeah,
like,
so
oh, this is
you're
probably
fine.
okay.
Buford's not happy, but he seems to be dealing with it. But he looks back to Buford as you're walking, calls back and Tallinn again. That is some heavy armor you carry.
Well, normally it doesn't feel as heavy, but I think the water weight is kind of dragging it down a bit.
Do you want to put it away?
I'm not gonna put away my armor. What kind of you crazy talk
Currently in
over
your
there?
own personal swimming pool as you walk around.
You know,
Well, I-
it
I-
might be a good idea. Next time we rest, I'll go and knock a couple holes in your boot so that sweat can roll out of it.
That's a great idea. I could just a little trail of
Your
water
full
dripping
plate's not
behind
like
me.
airtight. It's not sealed.
Slosh, slosh, slosh.
You're not like...
This is a good way to end up with trench foot right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't treat that.
But he calls back again, almost amused by this. The armor seems to lose some of its its use if you're so heavy you cannot dodge the strikes.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter much if you hit me or not. It still wouldn't get through.
It's a different philosophy of fighting than our
Bernabo
people's
seems to
ancestors.
find the concept of full plate hilarious. But as you continue forward, after another hour or two, you probably made it maybe a mile and a half through the jungle. So, tell me more about the place that this Aidara connects back to. Where you all come from.
Ah, Easker, Breach Hill, perhaps I'll let you two talk about
Nice
that.
and chilly, I'd say. It's
Then the metal in your armor would freeze. That does not seem better.
I'm keep it warm, move around. What do you say? Breach Hill's a real nice place. I
So
mean,
it-
my name is Buddy, by the way. I'm Buddy of the farming clan.
He just
Mule
laughs.
clan.
He's gonna laugh at the farming clan. And your mother?
She is also the farming clan.
Like to keep it more in the family of North then.
Well, everybody in my family is from the farming clan.
He's just a big smile on his face. He finds this whole thing incredibly amusing. Renato's
Resume's trying so hard to keep a straight face.
does not take any kind of a perception check for the rest of it to realize that
rage.
Renato's just messing with him. I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, and my wife's of the farming clan.
Oh.
Her parents are the farming clan. Her parents are the farming clan.
It just
How does the
straight
farming
line.
How does the farming clan grow if it is all kept in one family?
Your tree
Well, you
has
have-
one hell of a trunk.
Well, you have a lot of kids.
How do you ensure the lands around you are safe if you have no connection?
Well, see, when two people love each other,
This
and
is what happens when you keep it all in the same clan.
they'll have a lot of kids. Right now, we've only got 2 kids, but they're strong kids, so they'll be good at protecting things. When they have kids, they'll have more kids than probably we have kids. They'll be better at protecting than we were. Besides, we all got metal plate.
I see. So, you farm metal up north. That's not the way I've ever heard metal is gathered.
No, we
Is
don't
it
farm
magic?
metal. We farm plants, and then we eat plants.
So you have to have somebody of the metal or the mining clan or the
Well, yeah, that's what they do, though. We just buy it from them.
buy it.
Yeah.
I forget.
It's trade, but with more steps.
Trade but with any steps. So you would not have to worry so much about relationships if the clan simply kept on good terms. But humans do their things, elves do theirs.
Yes.
And he just laughs. Keeps on walking. Let me know if you need the rest, buddy of the farming clan.
You'll let me. You'll hear it when I cling to the ground.
We should arrive there sometime before sundown.
Oh my God! What time is it here?
It's probably about 10 a.m.
Are you kidding me?
And it turns out that a mile in the jungle is much, much longer than you would think.
Don't you guys have any like carts?
The carts! Where'd we roll the carts?
If you cleared out some of these trees, it wouldn't be near so difficult.
Well, we clear out the trees. We lose their protection, their shade. We
Well, you
lose the
wouldn't have to
life
clear
their
all
roots
of them.
give.
They're big. You need to clear out little ones underneath
The
the big
trees
ones.
are connected like the clans.
Oh,
They each has their purpose here.
yeah, I got you.
There's
Yeah.
an interconnected root system. That is so amazing.
Oh yeah, you would be really interested in that.
Yeah,
So-
Isvis. Yeah, here, I'll just hold Isvis, you know. Tug me along here, Isvis.
The my clan of the Druids, the Leaf Order, brought me here once when I was in training as an acolyte, but I don't think I was in this particular area. I think I was more southeast of here.
That's southeast of here, down towards the Deadlands, where the magic has scarred the life from the earth.
Esvis just immediately bristles at that word.
We are familiar with the Deadland.
I've never left the jungle myself. My duty is to the leopard clan, the clan of Aqua, to protect them, especially in times like these. The Cinder Claws have been more active of late.
I wish we knew what they wanted.
Well,
To spread the influence of the hawk, I would imagine. At least that's my guess.
take what I say. There is expression. There is human with piece of salt. But the totems, like they had back at Hunter's Gate, I think we worry. They aim to unseal the darkness from the webways between the portals.
Oh, that would be bad.
But again, Nikita know much better of this than me. She explained more when we reached the city.
This is so fascinating.
It's wet.
So you
And
continue
hot.
walking for another hour or 2 hours through fairly dense jungle. The ground is never flat. The way is never easy. You're constantly picking your way over massive berms of tangled roots or weaving through bits of marshy lowland between some of the massive growths. The tree is omnipresent, hanging dozens of feet overhead, with just bits of sun streaming down between them. And the area is still all clearly lit, but it's different. It's almost like having a slightly overcast sky all the time, just from the huge canopies spreading above. And everywhere you look, you can see some life. Whether it be the jillions of different kinds of birds making their way through, some smaller animals swinging around in the trees. It's teeming with existence.
So why were you guys down sitting around that portal? I seem to be a lot of you, and it seems to be far away from where you guys are housed.
Well, the cultists, they came to set up that pillar, and they ran us off the first time. We gathered forces and returned. And then we had seen some of them slip through Hunter's Gate. We could not leave it unguarded. We did not know it would come back.
So now you don't have to guard it because we've cleared them out, huh?
Well, that is not a decision for me to make. That is for the Osas.
Well, didn't you already make that decision?
Well, I've sent everyone back to their patrols. They're still nearby, not far. They could
Gotcha.
assemble if needed.
The Cinder Claws have lost the key to the gate when we defeated them. I don't know if they have any more, but the means that they used to open that gate is no longer in their grasp.
And that is good news, and the others will be pleased to hear it, I'm sure.
Can you explain to me the hierarchy of your clan? We don't wish to disrespect anyone. You can do it in Mwangi and I'll translate it for them later, but I'd like to understand.
No, you do not need to worry about these things. We take you in as friend, you come to Akrival as a guest. I do not imagine you need concern with offense. It'll be
Okay.
fine.
What would you say the forces of the Cinder Claws are like? Like, how expansive would you think they'd be?
Well, normally, most we meet are the boggards and the Cheruka, but those they brought when they opened the portal are different. They are half... What is the word? Large, fire-breathing beasts. The lizards with wings.
Dragons?
The dragons, perhaps. But still, they keep some...
They had some with them.
Yeah, the ones that fell on the stairs, right?
Well, those didn't have wings. Those were just the large, the goblins called them dragon dogs. But these actually had wings. They actually looked like dragons.
They fly, they breathe fire. They still have the face of Cheruka and the general body, but much larger.
Oh, but they still look like they ate people. Huh, but they breathe fire. Some sort of strange hybrid, perhaps.
Do we have any clue what Cheruka means?
What an odd creature. It's the monkey people.
I mean, it would be a fairly safe assumption that seeing
kinda
as
what I
you've
figured,
met
but-
exactly two kinds of cultists, and you know what a boggart is, that Cheruka is probably the monkeys.
Then, so in that case, is this possibly draconic monkey person hybrid? Dragon lore get me anything on it?
There's not much you really... Like, you just know that there are some, like that doesn't sound like anything that you
Would
can
fit with
think of.
draconic
Yeah, it sounds
kind
like
of thing,
nothing
yeah.
you
So,
know.
it's possible that there's something else going on here.
Perhaps a physical manifestation of a blessing of their god.
That's possible. It could also be that there's some sort of maybe a transmutation process, magic or alchemical, maybe. I've heard of experiments that are able to dally in that, but not my
The
expertise.
problem
But it's not a natural thing.
is that so the elven gods give their blessings upon us through their chosen, through people like me and you, priest. The problem is that their gods do the same.
A god is a god, no matter what their purpose may be.
It's possible that those are just how those gifts manifest.
That's possible.
So he after he whistles up into the forest again, still walking, doesn't hear any response. And he stops for a moment and puts both his hands up, and whistles again. Kind of listens. There's no response. And he reaches back and takes his bow off his back and just holds it in his hands. There should be patrols here. I would take your weapons.
Is everyone in fighting shape, or do we need more healing?
I have a potion I can throw back. I'm gonna go off a couple of lesser healing potions.
It is possible they are busy with a good hunt.
I'm gonna throw
May
up
have
false
tracked
life again.
something, but just to be safe.
Almost.
So sad.
Mwah, mwah.
I don't know. There we go.
We got back 14 from you, right?
Yes.
21,
Okay, then
26.
I should only be down 1. Normal hit point.
Counting.
6, 7, 5. Only one shy.
Yeah, I want to try
one
to.
shy.
High five, everyone's one off. As he continues to the forest, he doesn't have he doesn't have an arrow knocked or anything, but he's got his bow in one hand, and he's still using his other to just kind of climb around with and make his way through.
Does my falcon seem bothered? Does she look like she's nervous? Like there's been a change in the atmosphere or the air, and she can hear something different?
You can make me a perception check.
Falcon check.
You can shall we?
Falcon check.
Falcon check.
Shall we all try to take this quiet?
Probably be a good idea.
Follow me then, and I'll go front. Go up front.
Oh, nice.
So hers
just
is
jumps
a
on your shoulder.
12, 'cause she's better than me.
Okay.
So that's a 29.
With a 29, the Falcon's definitely a little irritated. Something's off,
Something's not right.
but he definitely doesn't know exactly what.
Could it
Follow me then.
possibly be the climate?
So Esvis, of course, Renavo is still leading you guys because you don't know where you're going. But Esvis moves up to the front of the group of you behind him, getting kind of low, and you got plenty to hide behind here as you move through the jungle. And,
If you guys want to follow the expert, then we can use my quiet allies feat.
Cool.
they only have to make one roll for everyone who's doing it. So Rare, what are you going to do? Follow Esvis, Resme, following Esvis.
Is there
Lauren?
a limit as to how many people can follow
No.
you?
No.
Then I will follow Esvis.
Following Esvis. So everyone will follow Esvis's lead here as you all start to move through the jungle. And Renavo, seeing you, shakes his head and just waves both hands a bit. It is probably nothing. As many things could call for the attention of those who are watching this way, but
Well, for the time being, it's better safe than sorry.
Detect magic?
not this way. If you want to detect magic, you're not following the expert.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Could you send your falcon to scout? Perhaps they can give a cry if it sees something off.
She'll give a little whisper and send her off.
And you send your falcon, and as it flies up around through the trees here, almost immediately Renavo, turning back forward and continues, is met with a great rustle from the overgrowth and just the jungle foliage in front of him as a Cheruka leaps forth. And as he does, you can see that though he is still relatively small, he's a bit bigger than the ones that you've seen before, and he's armed pretty significantly differently. This one wielding what appears to be a fully sized trident up in one hand, and he's much bulkier, much more physically massive than the rest of them. And as he comes out, Renavo, picking up his bow, "They're upon us!" and reaches back for an arrow.
So is he scouting?
As
They're here! Yes,
First-
thank you.
this one breaks forth in front of you, Seeking. Breaks forth in front of you. And then you see more of them surging out from their positions in the nearby jungle around you. So, before we roll our initiative here, I think we should take our midstream break real
Oh,
quick.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't wanna.
And then when we return from that, we will face these Cheruka. Now knowing, well, at least a name for them. We have a name for them finally.
Yep.
I'm calling them monkeys.
We have conquered many of them before, but now we got our first opportunity to take the fight to their terrain, to the Mwangi jungles where the Cinder Claws live, and really start striking
Show them how we roll in Breach Hill.
at the Cult of Cinders. Everybody, we will be back in a couple of minutes. Stay tuned.
We're gonna set them on fire.
When we return, we're gonna set them on fire.
In the jungle.
Cheruka, you mean Tinder.
Righty. Welcome back, everybody. And as we left off, Cheruka, the Cinder Claws, were upon us. And they were pretty ready. They had a pretty good little ambush set up here. So let me give you a whole bunch of various tokens that you are going to need. Here is one we can just use. Renavo has a bow, but it's the iconic Slayer. I didn't have anything that was super close to him, unfortunately. And here are a bunch of generic tiny pawns from the bestiary box that are Cheruka sized.
So these slightly bulkier Cherukas are still tiny.
Well,
Or still small, basically.
only the one in the front, the one nearest to Renavo,
who gets his own
is a
mini.
bit larger.
Look at that.
gets
It's
a-
actually a baboon with a spear and shield.
He does. It might actually be Cheruka. I'm not sure.
It is Cheruka.
Yeah, it came out of one of those little. It literally came from one of the Paizo, like the Pathfinder mini boosters that we got in the goodie bag at PaizoCon.
Oh, so cool.
Like, Paizo saw into the future and gave us an actual Cheruka mini one in a blind box for this exact moment.
I love it.
So thank you for that one, Paizo's booster RNG, and also PaizoCon goodie bag. So, we are all going to need to roll some initiative.
Maybe use stealth since we're following the leader.
You may all use stealth because you were all following Esvis's lead.
Let me
And
let me roll that
as
one.
a matter of fact, your stealth, you all add your level with a +2
Ooh.
because that's how Follow the Expert works.
On top of our normal stealth check?
If you are untrained.
Oh, okay.
If you are untrained, you can add your level like you were trained, and you get a +2 regardless.
Oh, we get a +2 regardless? Wow, my stealth is really good
I'm
then.
just gonna go with my normal.
Well, it only needs one roll because quiet allies.
It's just for initiative, though.
Oh, this is for
Initiative,
okay.
yeah. So initiative, everyone's gonna have to roll. Are you guys just dropping 20s all over my table?
Jesus.
Okay. All right, Dalren, what we got?
16.
All right,
Did
so
you roll
from what I
stealth?
just learned from all those exclamations is that you go over here.
Yeah, it's probably right, yeah.
Buddy,
Okay.
39?
So that's a 33.
33. Bert?
17.
Hey, you guys are the bottom friends. Espis,
31.
31. And resume?
32.
Okay, so glad I asked so I can leave some gap here. So Renali, shortly after you spoke with Renavo and realized that he does not need to kill you, you are not an enemy of the Ekujai. She does not need to be led through the jungle to Akerville. She lives here, she knows where she's going, and she is desperately injured. She would have been healed up, of course, to 14 from your spell, but she would have headed off on her own to make her own way back to wherever she was going to stop. She is not currently here. Renavo, however, is going to get a 34.
Whoa.
What the heck? I was one off.
You were, in fact, one off. Really need to get better initiative markers. These just are so flimsy.
We should 3D print him some.
Okay. So, then beyond that, I have to roll one for the little Cheruka, which is going to be a 15. And that's just going to be all of them that are coming out on the sides around you. And then one for the slightly larger Cheruka. Find his real quick.
The big boy.
Big Chungus. Where is his stat block? I will find you. You are somewhere in this book. How do I control F a book?
So like this, I actually printed out some.
It's called an index.
Yes,
But-
actually. My first grade teacher taught me how to use
I
indexes.
should really, yeah, the regular.
But they hang
Adventures
on the
don't have
screen
this.
like this rather than above it like he has it.
I would honestly, I should mess with those. Honestly forgot those were there in the back. I should definitely use them. Okay, so page 25.
And they
it's
slide
there.
around easily.
It is in the back. Oh, I will definitely be using those. Oh, those are amazing. Do those show up on the screen at all?
No.
They don't, but I can change the angle a little bit. I can just aim it down a little bit.
Yeah, you've got space over your head.
Yeah, I definitely have. I
Yeah.
got some like free space up here. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna use these. Holy crap, I totally forgot these existed. Now you're the best. Okay, so the Cheruka in the front. Oh, this has all the Cheruka stats. Oh, they reprinted the level 1. I don't have to just make up numbers.
Yay.
Okay. It's going to get a 30.
Big boy.
He didn't roll quite high enough.
That's supposed to get a 31, right?
Yes.
He's about to
Okey-dokey.
get pin cushioned.
Well, Renavo is there, and Renavo is largely immediately going to step back his bow already in hand, kind of towards these two on the other side, to put himself between them and as much of the party as possible before he raises his bow and looses one arrow out towards the Cheruka on the side in front of him. The only difficulties with the Cheruka step blocks and Renavo's step blocks are on opposite sides of the book. I didn't write Renavo's in advance because I'm not smart. That is going to be a 32. That is definitely going to critically hit.
2 damage.
Elven archery.
Stop it. Stop it.
That's going to critically hit for 18 damage. And he is going to drop this Cheruka and then try a second shot. A -5 for a 16, which is just barely going to miss the next Cheruka down the line. And he's going to call out towards the party, "Stay behind me! I'll protect you!"
The archer wants us to stay behind him.
Buddy.
So I step up to the next one.
Yeah, all right.
And I smack him with my hammer for a 30.
30 will critically hit. This man ain't gonna outdo me.
Okay, so. Oh no! So that is a for 7.
7 total?
Yeah.
Can't
no,
possibly be 7.
no,
It's a
that's-
critically hit.
Because that gets doubled.
Oh, it all gets doubled, actually.
Yeah, so it's
it
just
goes to
14.
Oh, okay, yeah, 14.
So with one big hit, you smash down. That's 14 damage, and the little Cheruka, as he jumps forth from his cover, just gets flattened back into it
They don't need to dig that man a grave.
and
He's already on the
stumbles,
ground.
barely still standing.
And then I will raise the shield.
All right, resume.
Resme will not move, but the Cheruka that Buddy just hit, and the one directly to his right, and will electrum and call down a wave of lightning on both of them.
Okay.
They need to make reflex saves. DC
Cheruka.
21.
Every time you cast that spell, I imagine 2 tiny little lightning clouds appear over the target's heads. And
The one in front of Buford is going to succeed. The southern one is going to fail.
Do you not want those? Oh, I see. Well, you have more over there. Because you need 3 of them now.
I do.
Nice.
11 each.
Okay, so halved 11. The one in front of Buddy is going to get fried as your hammer connects. You get the Thor moment. Hammer connects and electricity blasts into him, sending back down into the brush. The southern one taking 11 damage and staggering him in his assault, but he's still coming.
In case anyone was wondering whether or not I'm worthy.
That was one action.
And she'll throw up a shield.
All right, Esmus.
I'm going to hunt prey, the big boy,
Big boy.
and going to draw 2 quick arrows. Get behind me. And just send 2 spiraling arrows towards my prey for 25 and sorry, math, and 23.
Both win.
Okay.
the problem with being slightly bigger than the others is you're also slightly
a
easier to
better
hit.
target, yeah.
Okay, so first shot for 11 points of damage. And second shot for 5 points of damage.
Okay.
And I will do the take cover action,
Okay.
because I'm assuming that there's plenty of brush.
There is plenty of cover around the jungle. You can largely just do that anywhere, and anyone who doesn't come up to melee with you is going to have to deal with. It will give you cover, so you'll have the +2 from just any range attacks in general, because there's just so much foliage.
And I have a new feat at 5th level, that I have Forest Stealth, which counts for forests and jungles, that whenever I take the take cover action, I get to hide for free.
Okay.
Just
he
step
just
into a big
disappears.
fern and he's gone.
So and he's gone.
For a stealth of 30.
Yeah, he's gone.
You remember that White Death
Yep,
comment?
there you go. Your White Death again. Here you go.
Hi, Espen.
The leader, the larger of these Cheruka, taking these 2 arrows into him, which would be just about enough to drop all the Cheruka you fought so far, seems entirely unfazed. And in fact, as he breaks forth this trident held overhead, like just overhand, he jumps a bit as these hit him, stamping his feet down and screeching in just a growing rage before leaping forward towards Renavo. And as he gets there, he's going to strike down with his trident, leaping down towards him. What is Renavo's AC? Monkey is going to get a 36.
So I will, he'll
Yeah!
Mistakes were made,
very
monkey.
odd. He'll see this this kind of flash of all of like other brethren who have gone missing for a while now, who were going through the portal. Just a flash of all of them in perishing ways, and be like, you know, I could really do a lot better with my life.
Well, he's very angry, and he is going to take the enfeebled
Okay.
on that one and reduce the damage by 7. It's level +2, right?
Yes.
Alrighty, so that trident is going to strike for 23 damage, which is going to get reduced to math 16 damage. And as it strikes down on Renavo, you see him stagger backwards a bit, and the tips of this trident are fairly jagged. It's whether it's just poorly made or intentionally designed just to rip and tear as much as possible. It does not just strike and leave a wound. It shreds as the Cheruka rips it out sideways, leaving Renavo bleeding. Right him over yonder. Write him down real quick. And the monkey is just going to swing again because he's mad. Second swing is going to be a 27. 27, which Renavo will just barely be able to duck under and avoid. With a 25 on the final one, which he actually, as the monkey pulls back again, just stabbing furiously, he actually uses the haft of his bow to twist the trident aside as he pulls out another arrow, readying to fire.
Spicy.
Rrr.
Well, he looks like that didn't feel good.
He looks like it didn't feel good. But he does not seem particularly like he's like he grunts and winces, but he's
I'm gonna
all right.
pay close attention to what's happening to him, but for now, I have other things around me to deal with. So I'm going to take cover behind this bush beside me here, and while taking cover, fire a divine lance at this one over here in the far corner. Off.
Okay, the third is back. The one that would probably run at you.
Yes. So this is going to be a good divine lance,
Okay.
and
We have established
hope.
this to be closet pretty evil.
all right. So that is what is my attack modifier now for spells? Is it 11?
11?
It is 11. So that's a 28.
28 will critically hit.
Oh boy. All right. So that's 3d4 plus 4.
11 plus 4, 15, doubled 30.
That Cheruka is incinerated. He's just gone. It's a flash of holy light, and there just is not a Cheruka there anymore.
So that's a 4, a 3, and a 4.
Saren Ray gun.
Oh, Saren Ray does not
Seven
like
Ray
these
says
guys.
no.
Oh boy. And I'm now in cover. So
I get to cover as well.
Yeah.
All right, darn.
All right. Well, our archer friend is very dexterous. That's actually really impressive. But at the same time, he is an archer and in melee with somebody, so I'm going to step on up and see if I can't help him. Darn will step up next to him, actually directly up in this thing's face. Renavo, perhaps you should get behind us for the meantime. You do have the bow. And then Rage as lightning crackles up and bring that geese arm down.
What traits does Rage have?
I'm sorry?
What traits does Rage have?
Rage is...
Mental, right?
It is... I don't know if it has a mental
Like
action.
Does it provoke? Does it do anything it provokes?
It's not interact or manipulate.
Okay, you're good.
I mean, technically, I do take my monocle off.
There we
It's
go.
not
Your monocle
quite-
blasts off through sheer range,
There you
though.
go.
It's not like a
It
thing you
is-
interact with.
It is barbarian, concentrate, emotion, and mental.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
And technically also evocation and magical because that's dragon rage.
Right.
Okay, there's a super attack opportunity that provokes on concentrate, but this is not that.
Okay. It's good. That's only a 21.
With a 21, as this Cheruka gets beaten backwards, his trident deflected, he ducks down into your Gooserum, which glances across his hide armor, slicing through and drawing some blood, but not really doing any damage to him.
Okay. That's my 3 actions.
Right, and then the rest of the Cheruka will descend. This one here is going to move up closer because throwing increment on his rocks is not super far. And then he is going to pick up a rock and just hurl it out towards Dalrin, as you've seen many of them do many times
They
before.
like doing that.
They're big fans of the ring rocks.
To
It'll be an 18 hit.
22.
Alright, so
Dodges the leather armor, glances
so
it
just
away.
sails on, kind of between the fight, hitting nobody and doing nothing. And he's going to pick up a second one and just pelt another one forward for a 20.
Batted aside with the gauntlet.
Jeez.
His draconic contempt is in full 100%. Just,
The next of the
Third one, I just
Cheruka,
catch it and crush it. And
the next of the Cheruka will just run forward here, hatchet in one hand, sickle in the other, as he just rushes towards Resme because you can't see Espis, so Resme is the closest target that he can see. And as he runs forward and leaps up in the air, bringing the hatchet down towards you with a 15.
AC 22.
so your shield just ripples.
So a magical effect comes and it kind of ripples before him, but she doesn't look like she's hit at all.
And then he is going to pull up with his other arm, swinging the sickle up sideways into you with a 9. So
She's gonna look at him and raise an
you've
eyebrow.
killed somebody, Cheruka. They're not impressive anymore. And the last one down here on the end is actually close enough to just start pelting rocks towards Buford. And he's going to pick up just a chunk of shards and earth, throwing it towards Buford for a 21.
It just clangs against the back of the armor, just a ting.
7, throwing another handful with a 17.
And it also just like a musical. It's like a little one of those like tuning forks.
See, this is the advantage of wearing full plate.
Before enraged, he just leaps forward with his hatchet and his other hand just free where he'd been flinging things. And there's only 3 left alive, so that brings us back around to Renavo. Renavo, bow in one hand, is going to take a step back. He sees you step forward, and he'll just get a little further away from this Cheruka leader before loosing another pair of arrows back into him, basically at point blank range here.
Does he have a short bow?
He has a longbow, and it's very evident as the first one as he stumbles back away, the arrow just sails wide. He has a pretty difficult time really bringing it to bear. It is definitely not a short bow. But the second shot's going to do much better with a 30. He's going to land that one, hitting this leader for 11 damage. Buddy.
I'm gonna look down. I hear I kind of jostles me forward one of these little twangs, and I look down behind me, and I'm like, "What you?" And I bring them back here.
Bam!
Oh god!
With a natural 20
Okay. Bam!
Blasting off again!
for a 34.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
This-
positive.
Poor monkey.
It's a Hey Arnold moment.
So this what is
20
that?
points of damage.
20 points.
Yeah, that's
Deleted.
That's a one shot. He's gone.
Super dead.
So yeah, you just turn around. What are you doing to him?
Yeah, I
Like,
just turn. I shake my head. I'm like, and I bring my hammer back around, and he's like kind of going down for more clumps of dirt, and it hits instead of hitting where his chest would be, it just smacks the side of his head, and he just like
monkey
super
carcass is
dead,
spinning through the air.
super dead.
The 2 actions left.
So then I'm going to also run up
and
to the head guy here, and raise my shield.
All right, so you and Dalren move into this leader, Resme.
Resme will look at the leader and in a Mwangi say, "It's time to eat monkey," and she will call down a triple magic missile on his head.
Okay.
Darkest sketch.
So there's a series of force bolts. Oh, I also forgot the end of.
So you guys will see magic bolts fly down through the air, but there seems to be many, many more of them than you remember there being.
Ooh, a level 3 magic missile.
Indeed.
Is that honestly your signature spell?
Huh?
How many signature spells do you have?
She gets
One
three
for
every
each level, because
Oh.
I am an arcane caster.
Oh, you get a lot of them.
I
Okay,
do.
fair enough. It's like basically all the spells you know, pretty much.
Yes,
Okay.
or at least many of them. Okay,
Wow.
it's 15. 16.
16 damage?
Did you add 1 for every one of them?
Oh, no, I did not.
Yeah, it's 22.
22.
22. So 22 points of damage rain down onto the leader, who is now starting to appear, well, a little bit injured, but he is a surprisingly hardy little Cheruka. And he takes this, still spinning his trident around ready to attack, just seeming to become more furious as he takes damage. One action left. Is shield, I assume?
No, it's triple magic.
Oh, triple
missile.
magic mission, right, Estus. Right, it's a 3 action spell.
So a mechanics question. Ordinarily, I'm assuming that I would provoke if I was using my bow if I'm technically in melee with someone.
You are. You basically stop hiding as soon as you take a hostile action, so...
Okay, but as I'm taking the hostile action, will the will the one beside me be able to even see me to take the action as I'm doing it? Because I'm...
It'd be unaware of the first attack.
I guess it would be unaware of the first one. Yeah, you're hidden. So the first one would come out flat-footed, and yeah, he would have no idea you're there, so he couldn't do anything to your first shot.
Okay. Well then, for the first shot, because I was gonna do my hunted shot where I get 2 for the 1 action.
The first action, I suppose.
So still firing on my prey real quick.
The spray it prey.
The spray and pray it. So once again, just 2 more arrows in between the middle and ring fingers, and just launch them to spiral towards the leader here. For a 33.
33 will crit.
And the second shot is a 23.
23 will hit.
Okay. So these arrows come spiraling out, and I get the deadly with it.
Deadly. It's only deadly doubled.
I know.
Now you get to do math.
Okay.
Looks
so
like good math.
that's.
Wait, don't you have the specialization for your weapon?
Yes, I do.
Oh yeah, you get crit specialization on your 100 praise.
On my prey, yes.
So you can
can pin
bow
him.
pins him in place.
Yeah.
So he has to take an interact action to remove the arrow to be able to move. He's basically stuck there with that first critical shot.
So the critical shot, he takes 32 points of damage.
Okay,
Yeah, it turns out the dice are being friendly.
that's a number that exists.
And he is now pinned by the big arrow in place, just straight through his shin, just right into the ground of the.
And then you hit him again.
And then I hit him again.
So it's 32 damage as that strikes him. He finally starts to stagger a bit, still just seeming to get madder, but visibly very injured now.
And then 10 more points of damage.
And more points of damage. Still good.
That's one action.
One action. Now you're revealed. You're not hitting me.
Now I'm revealed. I will do the take cover action to hide for free.
Then shoot again.
Hey, at
Little
least
Cheruka's like, I know there was someone right next to me who just shot my boss.
He just sees you pop up and shoot you. Then the mother Cheruka looks at you, and then by the time he looks, you're gone again. He's like, hey!
It's like whack-a-mole.
For 23 stealth.
Yep, you are hidden.
And then While I'm stealth, can I move silently while
You
I'm
move
stealth?
at half speed.
I move at half speed. Okay.
Yeah, sneak is you can move up to half your speed, rounding down.
Okay. So I will stride half my speed while I'm stealth, just going around, not making a sound after I do this, and just get right over here next to Resme and Rur.
Which, expanding on that, you have to start and end in cover, but around here it doesn't
Everything's
matter.
covered in
Yeah.
the jungle. Yeah,
Yep.
you're like in the center of the jungle.
But
Right?
for
There's
if
literally
we're ever
foliage
not-
everywhere.
Man, fighting elves in the jungle is terrifying.
There's a reason the Echo Giant is still here.
And that's it for me.
So this Cheruka now, who is beyond enraged, and also stuck to the ground, but definitely still has 2 targets in front of him. The glaive has come in and missed. He's seen Buford just go whap, whap, and toss 2 smaller ones aside. So he's going to spin his trident around and just swing it down almost flat towards you for a 38.
Okay, and I'll kind of lean
Is he still enfeebled?
at the end of his
36.
turn.
It's
Yeah.
the end of his next turn. Yeah, 36. You're right.
Yeah. Okay, so that still that does some hefty damage. That is a crit. But I kind of lean into it with my steel shield, which will subtract 10 damage.
And as the trident comes down on you, the Cheruka leader here sees a future for his people where they are not torn apart by the Echo Giant and their new allies here. He sees his friends, his compatriots. He sees them living a brighter future in harmony.
You done got glanced.
And he is still going to take the swing,
Okay.
but it is going to be 10 less.
Huh.
It's going to hit you for 26, so only 16.
Okay. Okay, and then my shield also gets 16.
Well, your
His
shield
shield's
gets 6.
6.
So if
6.
you're
Oh, right,
blocking,
right,
yeah, because your hardness 10, so he hits you for 16, you eat 10, you take 6, and your shield takes 6.
Okay.
Tanking!
Is that the glimpse of like attack?
And he's gonna, and also as this,
Renavo. Glimpse of Redemption.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
as
okay.
this hits you, it is also going to drop blood from you as well, as he just
Okay.
pounds it down into your full plate. And this trident almost kind of just pings off with 6 damage realistically. And he's just gonna bring it down again. For a 27.
Okay. Well, it'll. He's found a pretty good place to hit, and he's just kind of laying in here, so that would hit.
And as he just pounds. This is actually easy because Enfeebled perfectly counters out the damage boost from Rage, so I just have to calculate it normally. That is going to be 17 damage.
Okay.
Your shield now battered away. And then seeing Dalren come up next to him, he is just going to fling a fist, just a closed fist of his other hand out sideways towards you for a 24.
24, it'll connect.
And 22 with Enfeebled.
I don't take him seriously enough to dodge out of the way.
Okay. And as this one hits, you will take 11 damage just from the raw strength of this backhand.
Okay, so 10 hit points.
And as he pulls that around and brings the trident back from Buford, he pulls the trident back and licks the blood off of the end of the blade. And you can see him reinvigorate himself as he does, healing a bit in his fury.
Huh.
Rare.
So, like I said, I've been paying attention to what's going on over there.
That's how you get tetanus, kids.
That is a big no-no. That's really messed up. So we have a new item in our arsenal here called Searing Light.
It's like Divine Lance, but brighter.
Yeah. So I'm gonna look over at him and just channel a much larger Divine Lance and fire it right between Dalren and Buddy.
God's justice, but only brighter.
Mm-hmm. For a 27.
27 hits.
So this deals 5d6 fire damage. And if he is a fiend or undead, it deals an extra 5d6.
He is not.
Yeah, that's what the spell does. Could I borrow 3d6?
Sure can.
Sir, can I have some D6s, please? So this Searing Light is literally a bolt of fire.
Yeah, it's a ray. It's just a blast of light and flame. And
Okay.
it hits a single target.
It's a baby Ark of the Covenant beam.
Yep. So that's 20. 20 fire damage.
So as that connects, what happens to him?
This hits him square in the chest, and just a gout of flame from the impact blasts up his body and scorches the fur across most of his upper half. And the pain from the searing flesh is too much for him to sustain consciousness.
And he finally, a little kind of like half-hearted swing of the trident, spins himself around and falls dead before Dalren and Buford.
Ah.
Leaving you one action. Hide in the shrubbery.
Gonna intimidate this one.
You sure can.
Boy, did you see that?
It's holy fire,
You
boy.
saw me delete him. You saw me delete him. I have another one for you. That's a natural 20 for a 24.
Raises his hand.
Fire still glowing in your eyes.
Yeah, he's terrified. He's frightened too. Wonder if Arnie seems to rethink his, attack process here. Dalren.
So these last remaining Cheruka have just enough time left to realize the terrible mistake they've made by jumping the party, I guess. And with the leader down, he'll just turn his attention to these over here. At first, a stabbing strike out.
Oh yeah,
to
you
this
can
one.
just reach that guy.
Oh god. That's a natural 20.
You can't just keep rolling 20s.
Remember the last time you said that can't just.
So
keep
you
happening.
crit him. Okay.
All right.
There are other faces on the die.
Just out of curiosity. Oh, geez.
13 plus
13 plus 8 is
21.
21
42?
doubled, 42 light.
He has 18 health. Leave him alone.
That applies to the massive damage rules.
Yes, his
actually.
max health is 18.
He just gets blasted by lightning,
Gone.
flies into the trees,
He's
a 5-foot step forward, and then he didn't last long. Bring it around and slash through the last one that's still remaining. That's -5, but he's flanking, so that's a 24 to hit.
24 will hit.
Yep.
That's not actually flanking.
With Espis it is.
He's got a bow.
Oh, good point.
22 will also hit.
Thank
so
you.
it doesn't matter.
So that's 21 lightning damage on him. Striking weapons, man, they don't mess around.
All right, Dalren. So how do you end this battle here?
Oh, well, it's the boss has gone down to Rur's blast of light. The lightning that's built up in Dalren has to go somewhere, so he just kind of reaches the geese arm out, and just the lightning just discharges out as he makes this wide sweep. And by the time he finishes the lightning, the two enemies have flown away, and his hair is back to normal, and he's fixing the monocle back on.
And as these get battered away, Renavo, still bleeding, seeing this all happen, looks to Buford, where he got pounded, and reaches out with a hand, energy quickly coalescing. He says, "Get the fist, protects," and gives you 24 health.
And I would return the favor. I sure am thankful.
So as you lay on hands each other,
It's just got to be the Predator hand moment, just two champions just doing this, and they lay on hands each other.
Someone's gonna make that meme. It's just.
Is he still bleeding?
they are both still bleeding.
They're both
actually.
still bleeding.
Oh.
But
Right.
that's what he did the one action lay on hands before he is going to then spend 2 actions.
Wait, was that 24 health?
24 health.
Well, that brought me up to full, doesn't it?
Oh, so you're not bleeding anymore. So he does that, and he is then going to quickly rip a little bit of the end of a sleeve and try to bandage himself up and stop his own bleeding. Here's your medicine. Untrained. Clearly not good at this, though. He does not seem...
He's not gonna pull Tyrannus, is he?
No, he doesn't. Then he's just
He'd have to do a lot of hard ones.
So he's going to bleed for another 2. Still bleeding, though.
All right, so I'm gonna walk over to him and say, "Oh, just calm down. I have a salve for this, and we're going to attempt to just battle medicine to get him back to full health.
Okay.
And we're just going for the trained, so DC 15.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's terribly injured.
Yep. So I made it. So that is, what was it?
2d8 is just trained.
7.
So with 7 health, though that does work to close the wound some. It's torn and jagged from the shredded, almost barbed end of this Cheruka's trident, and he's still bleeding. As he puts a hand over it, he just waves kind of dismissively. It is nothing. I'm okay. Do not worry. Are you all right? Looking to the rest of the party, still
yes.
clearly bleeding.
We are
fine.
fine. Please, let us tend to you.
It's no problem. Let me just, and this time doing the normal two
Yeah.
action trying to stop it. Let me just put this on here. Yeah, that's a 12 on the die, so 25.
25 will do it. Just barely, actually, as the jagged wounds left by the leader of these Cheruka are designed to continue bleeding, and they make themselves very difficult to close. But you are just able to patch him up there with a wry grin. Like, you are much better at this than I.
Well, that's what I've been trained to do since a young age.
We've gotten injured quite a great deal, and he's had a lot of practice.
The magics of creation are volatile and not always predictable, but they are effective.
I can see clearly why the group of you were able to handle the Cinder Claws and the priest that they come through.
We need to get the badges.
That would be good.
So these ones
Unless they don't
would
have
also they would still have the same Cinder Claw pins on all of them. So
Oh,
you could,
fantastic.
you could certainly collect them all
I
off
mean,
of their bodies.
we have to keep the tradition
There
going.
were 7 total. 6 smaller Cheruka and their leader.
I'm gonna go pick up I'm gonna break stealth, just come out of nowhere, just and just make my way over and pick up the trident and come over to Renavo and hold it out. Trophy.
Is it anything special?
Shakes his head.
Does the leader have anything else interesting on him?
The leader only really appears to have his simple hide armor and the trident that he was carrying, which does, as you pick it up, very clearly have some kind of a sigil right where the tines of the trident meet the haft. And Bernavo puts up his hands. Trophy? I do not know this word, but I have no need to bring back the evils of the Cinder Claw to Aqua.
Can you see about this sigil?
Sure.
Renavo, your scouts were supposed to be in this area. They may have gotten into trouble or been driven off. Can we check to see if they're okay?
The jungle is large. Would be a long task to try and find where they may have gone or what may have happened. But the Cinder Claws, they push ever deeper into the jungles by the day. No, I am Keledi, and my task now is to see the group of you to our home safely.
Of course.
Do I know what that word means in Mwangi?
Make me a lore Ekujai or lore Mwangi or lore elves
Okay.
for society, but it's gonna be way higher.
I'll use Elven.
Okay.
I was cocked.
Very cocked eye. There you go. 4.
It's gonna be a 13, so probably not.
13, yeah, you're not sure. You know it's a title of some kind, but you're not positive what.
I guess I'll try to identify the item
Okay,
since I'm sitting
so
here.
what's your modifier?
Oh,
Circle.
that's right. Plus 11.
With a plus 11 at this point, you would have no trouble identifying this sigil, which interestingly enough actually appears to be 2 runes set on either face of the trident. It is a +1 striking trident.
Oh.
And what about that bleed?
It
Is that
is.
just the weapon itself?
Did not appear to be anything that you can divine from magic on the weapon.
Probably his skill.
Mm-hmm.
It appears to be a magical weapon of some potency. We should probably keep it for the runes, if nothing else.
Then for a weapon this size, it would be in the capable hands, Dalrin.
Oh, well, I'll hold on to it for now, certainly.
We can change the runes over.
Yes, I have some stones that I can use.
So tridents are fairly small weapons. The striking trident's 2d8, and
Okay.
it is a throwing weapon. They are thrown 20. You could yeet tridents. So, and you were briefly before stream talking about something about an enchanted javelin.
I was, actually.
Tridents are a
You
throwing
have
weapon.
An enchanted
Tridents are throwing
javelin.
weapons, and they're D8s?
Let me make sure that d8's. Well, I'll check later to see.
Yeah,
if
yeah,
the
we'll
d8's
figure it
because
out.
He was
Okay.
wielding it, but his damage was 2d8, so I just kind of assumed that was what a trident did.
I'll look into it.
But yeah, we can double check.
That's pretty cool.
So, Rur, Arcadis, handing out yet another of the hero points here. Apparently, Rur has some stalwart in his bloodline some way with that intimidate.
There's something in there.
Tiny but fierce.
And as you're handing this trident around, Renavo kind of cocks his head. So this is a what is word? A normal process for.
Trophy. He'll switch to Elven. A memorial of the combat.
Yeah, you can also say trophy. He just doesn't know the word trophy in common. Like,
Okay,
you can say trophy
yeah,
in Elven, and he didn't
Yeah,
really know what you're talking
yeah.
about.
He'll switch to
But,
Elven. So it's trophy and Elven.
I see. A different way of thinking, I suppose, that you take this to revel in victory, rather than to leave them and not carry the stain of back to your people, back to your home. Is philosophical, if nothing else. Interesting. The Osas will be pleased to meet you. As will Nikita, I'm sure.
I look forward to meeting them as well.
We still have some way to go.
Is everyone all right?
I've never been better. Renavo, it has been a pleasure doing work with you. You are just one of a kind, man. I cannot believe the type of fighting you do. I'm just blown away. You know, I can't believe that. You know, I'm just glad to meet you. Who you said you were Leopard Clan?
Leopard Clan, my mother of the River Clan.
Mother of the River Clan. Man, I'm just so, and I go over, this is how we do it. And I'm going to go and try and show them how to shake hands and whatnot. I don't know if they do shake
You
hands.
have to like physically kind of grab his arm and hold it out and put your hand in it.
And I'll shake it and be like, this is how we say greetings of some sort. But I'm thank you.
There's a very physical way to greet.
Well, I would hug you, but I don't know if that's too formal.
So
In Buddy's clan, everything is physical.
Body of the farming clan, you have interesting power. It seems very similar to my own. You carry a blessing.
Blessing to protect those around me, and I see yours is similar, and I just can't respect you enough.
So, are you the Kaledi or something of same nature?
Elven lore for Kaletti?
I mean, you can try it. She tried it earlier and didn't know. She doesn't know what Kaledi means, but you can give me your Elven lore and see if you can figure it out.
Elven lore is going to be at 25.
So 25, you would know that Kaledi is it's not an Elven word, it's an Ekajai word. But you would know enough with your Elven lore to know that it is a title for somebody of great purity who cannot be debased by corruption. It is basically the Ekajai word for champion.
Okay. Oh, very good. Yeah. Redeemer, even one might say. Yes, indeed. His god is given a very similar blessing that Iyamade grants to you and your family.
Well, yeah, it's real important here around here to protect others, so.
And yes, Buddy receives the same gifts.
This only raises my hopes that perhaps the group of you that Renali has found in what you said, the Isger?
Isger.
Isger.
Yes, Isger is,
The middle of nowhere.
well,
You may be the way the gods have answered our prayers.
I like to think so.
perhaps they have.
Oh, we still have some way to go. There is much sun
All
left,
right.
but if the Cinder Claws have pushed so far, so close to Akrivel, we should hurry.
Of course.
And so you get back underway again, heading back further into the jungle. But nothing like a quick scrap to make sure that just in case you weren't sweaty enough inside your armor, now you have reached optimized amounts of incredibly sweaty and
Makes it easier to move.
bit of blood mixed in there as well now. As that leader of the Cheruka, there was something exponentially beyond the Cheruka that had come through the portal to Breachel. Something dramatically more powerful with such raw, brute strength. He could just batter through your shield and your full plate. But, fortunately, through your powers and Renavo's, there was no real major threat. You'll end up traveling through the jungle. Hot. Humid. You're bitten half to death by mosquitoes, it feels like, by the time you finally get there.
My ears are swollen.
But
You just can't catch a break.
But your wispies are so cute.
Stop it.
Before, finally, early afternoon, probably 2 or 3 p.m. realistically, the group of you would finally come upon something. And there would be no clearing. There's no split. There's no opening. No stone castle walls or buildings rise up before you. As a matter of fact, at first glance, it just looks like the same trackless jungle you've been traveling through the entire time. But above, as Renavo points upward, you can start to make out structures built up into the canopies of the jungle itself. Woven tree branches forming the foundations of the buildings and the walkways of this huge treetop Ekujai town. Bridges stretch from building to building, woven, built from sturdy vines, stretching all throughout the canopies. And even further beyond the outstretches of the buildings, out into the jungles around, leading in every direction. Dozens, if not hundreds, of trunks of these enormous trees, each of which at least 10 feet wide. All support a huge weaving of branches that builds up and supports the base of the city, perched up on top of it. And each of these trunks decorated with twisted roots and shoots that have painstakingly been arranged to form the images of elephants and leopards all around the base of this civilization. Further up, amid meshes of branches that have grown together to make huge platforms overhead, there is an incredible array of what appears to be more fruit trees that have been grafted into these massive trunks that form the base, sprouting out from the sides of these and up around the buildings, providing a glorious and even from down here, sweet-smelling bounty all around the outside of Aquaville.
I
Yum.
suppose farming is different in every place.
Wow.
And at the base of the trees, another Ekujai elf waits. A woman standing there, balancing lightly on a mass of protruding roots. One hand holds a large brass staff, topped with a carving of a leopard, grasping a sword in its jaws, perched atop a prone human, holding them down. Her other arm is somehow stranger. It doesn't look like it's made of flesh, but carved of hardwood in the shape of an arm. And as you approach this woman, switch us over here.
Ooh, she's pretty.
A pretty big band of white face paint across the middle of her face, widening to completely cover her eyes and brows, and several more marks down around her chin. All of her dark hair done back in large dreadlocks secured with brass bands. She nods and smiles, seeing the group of you approach. As you get close, I am Nikita of the Leopard clan. My mother was of the Stargazer clan. You are guests of the Ekujai tonight. Welcome to our lands. It took you long enough, Father. And Renavo just kind of grins and puts his hands up right next to him. I tried. We were slowed briefly by the Cinder Claws, but our new allies here made short work of them. Very little assistance. And Nikita just kind of smiles and nods. It's good to hear. It would have been a shame if this would have been the day the Cinder Claws chose to come so much further in their incursion than to cause enough of a problem that friends will be stopped. And she looks kind of across the group of you for a moment, just waiting.
Resme will bow very low to her and say, thank you so much for being our host here today. We are honored to be guests in your camp and to do what we can to assist you.
Buddy.
This is all in common. She's speaking in like almost perfect common.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
Sorry.
Me,
It's
buddy.
Buddy.
it's accented,
Oh, okay,
but it
okay,
is
okay,
actually
okay.
almost perfect common.
Okay.
I'm Dalren. Thank you for your hospitality, and we hope to be able to work together more. The Cinder Claws have caused us problems as well.
Esphus.
Oh, this here's Esphus. He's a real good guy. My name is Buddy here. I'm really impressed with your pa here. He's done some real good.
And Renavo kind of smiling again. He makes a better introduction with his bow than his words. Trust. I have seen.
I was real impressed with his bowmanship.
That is for sure. He is quite skilled. I'm Rur Ashblum. A pleasure to meet you.
It is rare that we have outsiders that have come from so far away to stay with us. But tonight, you rest in our honor. We'll have a feast this evening. You have traveled far, regardless of your trip with the Ayudara. I understand you have dealt with many of the Cinder Claws, not simply here, but those that we have, to our shame, allowed to reach your lands, wherever they may have been.
The only thing the Cinder Claws found through that gate was more enemies.
Please, let us head to the city. This conversation will be much better off of the wet grounds. And reaches up with her wooden arm, which, as she reaches up, seems to unfold piecemeal, unfolding itself into a 15, 20-foot long extension with her hand at the end that reaches up onto a branch that she just pulls herself swinging up into the canopies above.
Just gonna
Whereas
look at Renavo.
Renavo, the town, do not worry. You will enjoy, and just starts to spring up the trees into the canopies above.
I don't think I can get up there.
Now let's get the rope out.
I'm gonna turn into a cat now.
Does it look like there's enough handholds that you could conveniently climb it with enough athletics and acrobatics?
It is certainly possible. I mean, you can see Renavo's just yeeting his way up there, no problem. He's just hopping from branch to branch, grabbing on occasional handholds and just swinging himself up. He just vanishes up into the treetops and going up as easily as he walked almost across the flat ground.
Let's
They're
see.
practiced.
Maybe it's... Well, we should
You also
make
guys
our way
stand
up.
there for a moment watching. As you look up now closer, you can see a lot of Ecogite faces scattered on the platforms, looking down curiously. Men and women, children, all kinds looking down with all sorts of varied expressions, all curious about whoever it is that has come to the Ecogite lands here.
Well-
all watching
We'd best not look
Well,
like
I'd
as
fools.
better
Renavo
start-
and Nikita just
I'd better
disappear
start climbing
up
up.
in the city.
I've got a rope here. Once I get up there, I'll toss it down and pull you down, pull you up.
Pull all of us up.
Yep.
Right. Well,
Um,
I'm just gonna try to follow him.
Okay,
See.
so you can make me, if you want to try and follow up how Renavo is doing it, you can make me an acrobatics check
I can do that
to hop up after him.
because I have a bangle that makes my acrobatics better. So hopefully, I don't need to roll two. Well,
Is that a nat one?
that is totally a nat one. This is gonna be hilarious.
So as you go, you see Renavo start going, and you kind of watch the path. You just stand there for a second. You look at each other briefly, discuss your rope. You see his face is looking well, and you go plant your foot and slip immediately. Tumble off the opposite side
I assure you, we're very
of
confident.
the roots.
Can I just like dig into
You
the
can
tree?
see some of the children laugh around the edges of the
I'm gonna
platform.
try to follow suit with an acrobatics.
All the elves should fail. It'd be hilarious.
It actually kind of would. 32.
So the 32, it is made to be traversable. And though it is certainly not easy by any standard stretch of the imagination, these ain't stairs, you are able to fairly swiftly follow in Renavo's footsteps
Throw us a rope.
up, up onto the platform.
Well, that didn't look so
As you
hard.
get closer, while Renavo and Nikita are both up there waiting for you at the top, you see the rest of the Ekujai people actually back away, leaving you a pretty big void, maybe at least 5-8 feet. They just kind of scoot back a little bit. Kids, the smaller ones, kind of hiding behind their mother's legs, still looking. But as you reach the platform itself, a lot of them turn to just kind of go back to what they were doing, turning away from the show here, moving away from Esphus as you come up. And as you get up there, Renavo reaches down at the last bit to grab your forearm and just pull you up on the platform with him. And he looks to you, and down below, the buddy of the farming clan. You think he will manage with all that armor?
If I hear you bad talking me up there, Ismus, I swear.
Nikita immediately just reaches out and backhands Renavo in the chest. Father, the guests are here, and the first thing you do upon their arrival in our city is to insult them. Surely he has no trouble.
Okay, where are my hero points? Okay.
And she looks down and sees Darren just boom. Father, perhaps the elevators.
Well, now hold on. I thought that
I'm
looked
turning
pretty
into a
fun.
cat, and I'm gonna bound up there and use my claws to kind of climb up after them.
Okay, so give me your acrobatics. I know that gives you a huge
Plus 10,
acrobatics,
yeah.
massive acrobatics modifier. Oh, it just kind of replaces yours entirely, really.
Yeah.
I thought my acrobatics was good, but then I rolled a 1.
It's
Hey!
gonna be a 27.
Well, the 27, yeah, as a cat, you can very easily hop up. And Renavo steps back a bit as you hop up there, having transformed into an animal. Hands down at his sides, face kind of turned up,
And
just a little suspicious.
And she'll take this opportunity to clean her paws a little, but then she'll quickly transform back into Resme.
And Nikita just stands there, just watching down to see how everyone else does, a little amused,
Yeah.
as
I
are
guess
the
I
rest of
shouldn't
the
have
faces still watching from the outlying platforms.
He's gonna do it.
What?
That's a 20.
A total of 20.
Total of 20.
Oh. I thought it was
With
natural
acrobatics?
20.
Yeah.
All right, so with the total of 20, you're small. It's definitely a bit harder. You don't do it nearly as gracefully, but you are able to follow in their footsteps and scramble your way up onto the upper platform. Where Nikita, as you get the last little bit, unfolds their arm a little down to reach maybe 10 feet down and help pull you back up the rest of the way with their wooden
We can't be the only ones
extendo
left out.
hand.
Yeah,
You ever still
yeah.
just kind of standing
Can I
there,
just-
and Doran's in the
Can I
ground.
just like climb
have
the
a
tree like
modifier
a
of
regular
1.
person?
Yeah, you can make an athletics check.
Okay, that's what you're sounding suspicious over there. Okay, well that is a 24.
So the 24, so think everyone else do this. He ever just shakes his head and just grabs and just starts climbing it. And as he just kind of works his way up, it's about a 50-50 mix of laughter and just like, whoa. It's
like, that's an option?
I'm like, ooh, he's doing it. It's a almost perfectly even split as you come up the side of this into the treetops.
Ever wanted to see a bear climb a tree? Well, here it
Yeah,
is.
that's it. That's how bears do it.
And I can throw down a rope, and I'd be like, you pull from that end, I'll pull from this end, and it'll pull you up.
Nikita, as you get up there, just looks at you. How are you able to climb so effectively wearing so much armor? That must weigh more than 3 men. Kisses his armor.
Yep.
No, the faceplate just ding.
This one's
Doran?
bonus clip brought to you by Rur.
All right. No.
Can I assist?
I have to make it up there. I have to make it
No,
up there.
you're gonna roll
No,
a rope.
not
Do the
assist.
rope.
Roll
No,
a
no,
1.
Don't need any rope.
Roll a 1.
Are you good at acrobatics? or
Yeah,
are you
I'm good at
trying to-
acrobatics my way up here. I have to try again. All right, here we go. There we
Oh,
go.
very good.
All right,
Yeah,
found my
very
footing. All right, that's a total of
28.
28.
So with a 28, you, on a second try there, realize a bit of moss there, bit of a slippery spot. You, on your second attempt, managed to get up into the trees with no real problem. And as you arrive up there, the rest of the Equigi around the edge all kind of give way a bit to leave you on the southern end of the easternmost platform.
Wow.
Akravel is a huge, actually legitimately sprawling town that spreads out through the canopies here over about a quarter of a mile with these massive 3 main nexi of these woven trunks leading up into these branched platforms with all of the individual little huts and buildings spread out along them and all these different bridges leading across and throughout. It's truly an impressive construction. And you stand here probably about 80 feet above the floor of the jungle, far up
I
into
climbed
the canopy.
long
Nice.
ways.
Much like it's the vast majority of the way up to the tops of these trees. Where up here you do really just have the sun beaming down. Still filtered by some of the tallest of the trees, but it is much more open to the sky than the grounds below.
Probably a better breeze up here, too.
There's a much better breeze up there, I am sure.
It's
Still maybe a little less humid just for the sheer distance above the ground that you are, but still just as hot and still mostly just as wet. But a little bit of a breeze.
This is incredible.
And Nikita bows her head. Thank you. This is a city that has lasted near as long as the Ekugai themselves. It was woven into existence generations, millennia ago. Back when first we came here to the depths of these jungles, the Mwangi expanse, you call it? It has been some time since I have properly studied in the human's history. So I apologize if I get any bits of this wrong. I have not had much opportunity to practice my Taldean tongue in a very long time.
Well, I have just learned Mwangi, so perhaps you will correct me and we will learn from each other.
Well, we hope to do well in hosting you here tonight. There will be a feast near to sundown. The hunters are preparing to head and find their quarry here before too long. But Lacrivel is open to you.
Do you think this could bear the weight of a wagon?
Bears the weight of buildings.
Rocks her head. A wagon is a larger cart. Yes,
Yeah.
just a big. But I can't imagine it would be much of a difficulty. It bears the weight of all of our people.
Good. She'll dig around in her pack for a second. What?
Should we wait to find a suitable spot for it?
Oh, are we going to be staying someplace specific?
We do not traditionally have guests, truth be told. So, my father and I have a fairly large hut. We have plenty of space to be able to hold all of you as well. You are guests here. We hope this will be enough.
Of course. I brought something along that carries some other stuff. It's rather large, a wagon, a bigger cart. Is there someplace I can put it that would be convenient?
There certainly is. Near the center of this platform, there is much space. It is where the feast is to be held. It certainly should be large enough for a wagon, I imagine.
Okay, that'll work.
Well, let us travel then. Most everything is here on this hub. The hunting party is already readying to head out. And up on the platform above, as this is kind of multi-tiered too, you can see a bit. There is a smaller platform that extends up above the one that you're on now. And up above is the hut Renavo and I share. And I will show you to that later, before I head to help with the preparations, make sure everything is in order. So,
Can you show us to the middle of the town? Since I know we would be coming here and we would be meeting you, I brought you gifts. So I'd like to be able to give them, as I think they'll be a nice addition to the feast.
oh, of course. And she stops for a second. And Renavo's still just kind of standing there, just watching as you guys are just hanging out. And she turns, Father, do you not have things to be taken care of for the feast tonight? And Renavo just kind of shrugs. Of course, but the longer I am here, the less work I have to do.
Oh, I like him.
And
Quite honest, actually.
she just smacks him. Go do something useful.
If you need some help, I've got a good set of hands and I'm real good at crafting stuff.
And she just kind of waves her hand. It is no trouble. Perhaps we will find some later if you wish to introduce, if you really wish to assist. But
Sure would. I don't want to be standing around here like a lump.
These traditions of yours, they are not very Ekugai, they're very human. The giving of gifts and the helping. You are guests here. This is our honor to host you and to provide for you this meal and entertainment. It is not meant to be reciprocated.
Well, it's a good trade, you know. You're all about trading. Here we are trading
Humans
work
are
for...
all about trading. We have no such business. We have no coin. We sell no wares.
Indeed.
Well, thank you very much for your hospitality. But as friends help each other out, please do allow us to offer assistance at some point in the future.
They will certainly not stop you. In fact, and she points over to some of the Echojet that have largely gone back to their business at this point, but you can see a group of them a little further off down the platform, stringing up some fairly massive longbows, with one of them seeming to be the leader, wearing some bright green armor, basically head to toe. You can't even tell from this distance if it's really cloth or leather. Strapped around across his pauldrons with a huge assortment of simple bonds just holding it all around him everywhere, almost skin tight across his body. And she points over. Galenor there is leading the hunting party later. They should be ready to go here before too long if you do wish to assist. Apparently you are capable fighters, if my father is to be believed. Perhaps you could assist them with the hunts.
Something we could certainly help with. Certainly would help, sort of.
As long as I don't slow them down, I seem to be the slowest mover around here in these trees.
And you hear a voice call out, Nikita! And she turns, and you see two Ekujaya women. And they're fairly tall. I mean, they're elves. They're all fair. How tall is Beeford? Instead of rock curiosity?
6'4".
6'4". So you're probably like upper range of median height. Like these elves are averaging in around like
Some of the children are a little taller
6'3"
than
to
you.
6'5". But I mean, they just take the human bound and move it up.
Yeah.
So like 6'6" is like our 6 foot. It's
Yeah.
not particularly tall. It's kind of normal. And both of these women would be a little bit taller than you are, and they look visibly a bit younger. They're wearing much brighter clothing drawn around, and the one of them has a large set of pretty thick metal bangles all down one forearm. That doesn't look like jewelry so much as she's just carrying a ton of these things. And they are the only two of the group of Ekujai who do not seem at all fazed by your presence. They stride up confidently to Nikita, closer to her, group you on the other side of her, to be fair. But Nikita looks at who's talking, and then her face kind of falls for a moment, like she's just disappointed. And she quickly, in Mwangi, responds to them, "You cannot be serious. This is not something... They just got here. They're tired from their journey."
Oh, I'm
And,
not tired, she says in Mwangi.
And they all just turn to look at you. And the first of the girls, the one that's carrying all the bangles, "You speak Mwangi.
Yes.
That is impressive.
Oh.
You'd speak well."
Oh, thank you very much. I hope to learn and get better while I'm here.
"I am Malko of the River Clan. My mother is of the Earth Clan."
It is so nice to meet you.
And
I am
you-
Resme.
And the other one does that little gesture that Renali done before, the palms up, palms down. "And I am Senyo of the Leopard Clan. My mother is also of the River Clan. Like you have met Nikita's father, Venavo."
Yes. This is a buddy of the farming clan.
I look over to him and just kind of giggle a bit. And look back
Take my
to you.
cowboy hat, raise my eyebrows.
Well, if you are not feeling too tired, we wanted to welcome you to Ackerville with a game of Dakada.
Sure, I like games. They wanna teach us how to play a game.
And Nikita just has both hands in the universal gesture of why on her temples here. And Renavo at this point has left. And she just, in Mwangi, "Moko, Senyo, they have a whole city to see. They just got here. They've traveled all the way from Hunter's Gate here, and she just looks at them, and they, like, again, they look like they're probably teenagers. And they just have, like, the brightest, happiest, most expectant expressions on their face as they just look at her. And Nikita looks at the pair of them.
I'm ready and willing. Anything we got here, let's do it.
Please don't.
Come on, Esphis, you know you're all about this.
Not really.
Look at them, they're like so cute and cuddly.
So in common, Nikita, they want to play Daikada.
Yeah, of course. Let's go do it.
What is Daikanda?
It's probably awesome. Let's go. Look at those girls. Shit, they're so cute. I bet they're. I could bet
And
they get their eyes
the
from
two
their
of them,
mother.
one of them's like trying not to look at Buddy, trying to look at him without being super obvious, while looking towards Resme and Nikita, and the other one is just looking down at the ground, now very shy that she is up in this close range here. And
It's
I'm
okay.
going to the Rangers.
He's I'll say this in Mwangi so they understand. Married, with 2 children of his own, boys.
so you would know there's not, you can say it's an elven, you would know there is not a, I guess that would be a Mwangi word for married, but Senyo and Moko will just kind of look at each other, and Nikita would explain Mwangi. He has a bond. They have a ceremony for their betrothed. They, for life, paired together is the human and...
Actually, Esvis,
But,
while you...
Dalrin
That's
is
funny.
available.
This is Mwangi, so you have no idea what she's saying.
I got Buddy's name wrong. I just got Buddy's name wrong.
Dalrin turns just like, hey, S.O. I'm just gone.
Just walks away.
Actually, no, that's it. You walked away, I turned where you were, and Buddy's standing there. That's exactly what happened.
And the kid just shakes her head, but Senyo doesn't have anything. Come on, we need more space. We will teach you.
Okay.
It's very fun. And turns and just heads off towards the center of the platform. And Nikita, just with the also universal gesture of, I guess, just palm upturned. And common, if you want to play, they are very excited to teach you.
Well, I'll go play. You guys handle all this talking stuff, and I'm gonna go do fun stuff.
Your shield did get a little banged up. You want me to fix that while you're off playing?
Sure. I mean,
You should all come. Perhaps is not worst form of introduction, I suppose.
Oh, well, I suppose.
Where
introductions-
is, and she looks around, where is the white-haired one?
he went off to go play with the other guys.
He
And she
doesn't
looks and he's
play.
already, like, over. So you would be over. You just went to the hunting group?
Yeah, just went over to the hunting group, arms folded, and just looking
So
to see
you
how they're preparing.
Good
And
luck, and yeah, as the one in all the green suits, Gelinor, as she called out, is stringing his bow, and he just kind of looks up to you and just does a quick nod and goes back to what he's doing.
just immediately move and pick up if there's an unstringed longbow, just immediately start helping.
And he would just, and reach out. Who got the question? And he just kind of take the unstrung bow from you and just put it back down the pile. And Nikita just kind of looks over as this happens. What is your friend's name? Perhaps?
Esvis.
Espis, if you will.
Just slowly turn and look over.
And Gelinor, as he's sitting there, as you get called. Esbus!
Esvis, my man, you get over here. I know you've been wanting to play some games earlier. You've been as stressed as
Just kind of looks to the
nobody.
group of the hunters, and the hunters kind of chuckle a bit. Esbes, ukata watesa.
What does that mean?
To the group. This is like 30 feet away from you, he's just
Oh, okay.
talking. So you can't hear this.
I'm gonna walk
You don't
over.
speak Mwangi, so you have no idea what he's saying.
Esvis, let's go, man. Got things to do. These kids are gonna be so disappointed if you don't come over here.
They can stay disappointed. There's disappointment in life. It's a healthy growing tool.
But they're gonna be. We're trying to introduce these people to the bright side of the world, and you're just
They have
giving a
enough
bad impression. Okay, well, I'm gonna pick you up if you don't get up right now.
If you touch me, buddy.
I'm gonna pick you up.
Buddy.
Well,
Are you gonna...
well, wait.
I'm following the girls at this
This sounds like
point.
an athletics check. Everyone's kind of stopped now to look over here. And
Esvis,
they sort of got everyone's
I
attention again.
swear
Just
on
neck and neck, sort
everything
of
by
looking.
Ioma Day, you are not gonna disappoint those little girls. Their mother is gonna come over here and give the whooping on
They're
you
teenagers.
so
They're
hard.
like 18. They're not like...
They're gonna give the whooping on you so hard.
Like, do not cloud this issue with facts.
So they're essentially my age.
I'm not really in the mood for fun and
Well, why don't
games.
you go fix my shield then?
Well,
Dalrin can do that.
I can do that. And besides, it might be useful for Esvis to introduce some like-minded members of the Ekujai, other hunters, taciturn ones,
Well, he needs to know. I feel bad for these girls. They just have all these
buddy,
these expectations.
You'll be a ray of sunshine. They
I'm just
won't
gonna find a
even
nice shaded
notice
spot,
he's
immediately
gone.
climb and hide.
Climb
And hide.
climb into some nearby tree
Yeah,
branches.
just find-
I mean, really,
find-
going to edge of the platform, some of the hunters would just be up in branches around doing their business, just like getting stuff handed up to them, and they kind of not really assembly lining it. He's kind of doing their own
Guess
thing.
I won't roll my athletics check.
I mean, you can try to stop him. You can try to stop him.
I don't want to cause a scene, you know.
I was just
I never cause scenes.
Dalren is talking to you while he was distracted. Take cover, jungle hide.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gone.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go.
That's
I guess we'd
disappeared.
better go help those girls.
In Mwangi, he's available too, but I wouldn't try it.
So, as the group of you gather back around over by Nikita and the girls, they lead you over more towards the center of the platform. There's some more space. Where Nikita want to kind of take you for the wagon anyway. And as you get there, Senyo, I have to look at the book for a name every time. I don't know why Senyo just pings off my brain immediately and I can't remember it. Senyo immediately heads off to get some things, while Moko starts handing out these little bangles. They look like they're in pairs, each one colored differently. They're made of some kind of metal and they're hollow. And even as they move and chime a bit on her arms as she tries to get them off, they make a very audible, almost like a loud wind chiming sound as they dangle together. But each one of them pitched a little bit differently, so that they're audibly distinct. The chimes themselves aren't actually perfect circles either. They're almost kind of spiraled a bit. So as they jostle, they chime against themselves, just having this constant echoing ringing coming off of her arms as she tries to sort these out in the little piles. And so Moko starts to explain in Mwangi, do you have Daikada where you come from?
I don't know. You'd have to explain the game to me so that I can relate it to something I do know.
And
The rules.
So she looks over to Buford with a bit of a smile, and still on Mwangi. Daikada is a quick game of music and rhythm, and Nikita puts up her hands. He does not speak Mwangi. I can translate for you, but he does not understand.
I can translate as well, if you have better things to do.
Nikita puts up her hands. I'll explain the game. It is simple. Moko, just get things ready. Find a drummer.
Drummer? I like
She
this.
turns back in common. Well, Daikada is, simply as I can explain, I suppose, a dancing game. You take pairs of these chimes, you put them around your ankles. Goal of the game is to ring your opponent's chimes without letting yours be rung in turn. And while all this goes, you still have to keep with the beats. And if the scoring is complicated, I suffice say, we'll explain as we kind of go along.
Not to worry, I totally understand. I'm gonna be great
You
at
may
this game.
want to... Do you want to take off your armor? Do you clothed underneath?
It'll take like 4 to 5 minutes, but sure. I mean, I can take off his breastplate real easy.
If you show me where to put the wagon, we can put his armor in the wagon.
And she just kind of motions. Well, most of this space here near these large trunks, there should be plenty of room.
Okay. So Resme will walk over and just kind of take a look and just make sure and kind of nod like she's measured the space in her head. And then she'll reach into her pocket and toss something, and it will explode into a wagon, expanding to 80 times its size.
As this just goes, boom, and becomes a wagon just out of nowhere. Everyone kind of steps back a bit, and some gasps from just the echo gy around. A whole bunch of heads turn your direction, like, what the hell? As a wagon just explodes into existence. And Nikita, what the magic is this?
Home sweet home.
That is fantastic! I love it!
It works on huts too. You can bring your own hut with you.
I cannot even begin to think of all the applications this would have.
Oh, it has a lot of applications. I'm gonna have a traveling bar.
Actually,
Traveling.
something occurs to us. That could definitely be something that they might find useful, because if you can store something large and something small and give it to them, they could open it whenever they need it. And the magic is still good as long as the bag
They
is
can
closed.
open it without the magic?
Yeah, no. Once it's
The spell-
the spell's just shrinking it. Once it's in spell form, anyone can just toss it, and it just turns
Once
into
the
what it
duration
is.
expires, as long as it's once you take it out of something and then give it enough space to expand into, it expands. It's really freaking cool.
That's awesome.
It's capsule core.
It's capsule core. That's actually awesome. So, as they get set up, they bring out a drummer to prepare and set up this game here and hand out the pairs of bangles. Malko and Senyo both fasten a pair around their anklets. Though Nikita does explain that the game is 1v1. But two of you who want to play can battle each of the girls, and if other people want to try, I mean, the girls are very excited to do this, and we'll play against more than one of you if you want to. But it has to go kind of in sequence, because it's sort of a 1v1 game.
Sure.
But you'll have basically 2 games of this going as once, as long as 2 of you want to play. One of you dances off with Senyo, one of you dances off with Malko.
Resme is all about this game.
I haven't danced in decades.
Well, sit down, old man. I've got this covered.
Should go
pretty
learn
fun.
today, lad. All right, so who?
Aren't they just hula hoops for you?
Pretty much. I have all the advantages.
Oh boy.
They can't get to my ankles. My entire body's in the way. You're already down. They're like 6'6" and 6'7". Like they can barely see your ankles. So, as this gets set up, Senyo brings one of her friends with a drum to kind of strike out a simple rhythm here before anyone's even started playing, just to kind of get it going and set the mood. And
I can square dance to
the
that.
kata is a bit of a game that takes some space and some setup here. It's got these anklets, the music involved, and all of that, and this kind of draws some attention, drawing a good deal more of the Ekujai out around to come watch whatever's about to happen. And when they realize that this idiot is about to play, people get very interested in what's about to happen. So Buford and Resme seem like the two that are the most excited that want to play right now.
Very much so.
So who are you stepping up to, Buford?
I did one of the two. I don't know.
Do you want to step
Some
to
girl.
Senyo or Mocha?
Yeah, Malko is a little bit taller. She looks a bit older. Her hair's a little brighter and just
I
kind
like
of
the
worn down
whoever's
loose.
younger one.
Senyo's the younger one who was like looking away originally. She's the one that
Well,
didn't have the
if
bangles.
she's too shy,
She's-
I don't
well,
wanna,
the kind of
like-
shyness is kind of gone now.
Oh, okay,
She's sort of ready for this. She's
I'm
ready to go.
Okay, that's one.
You're
That's the
about to
one.
bully a child.
I
Well,
don't
I mean,
really.
they're teenage elves, so they're like 60.
Have you seen
a
the
child.
I have a
dexterity on
feeling
these
he's about to
people?
get his patootie handed to
Have
him.
you seen the dexterity on these guys?
You're about to get served.
So,
I'm ready.
are you taking off your full plate, or are you just doing it in full plate? Because like you can't, you don't have enough strength if the full plate doesn't penalize you. Like you can't do it in a full plate.
Yeah, I'll just do it with full plate. It'll
Oh
make
my
a
God,
good
that's
scene.
amazing.
It'll
Just
make a good
fasten
scene.
around the ankles of your
Plate.
greaves,
Yeah.
which ends up causing a bit of a problem, and they have to get a craftsman out to kind of expand a pair
Oh,
of these
yeah,
a bit
yeah.
to fit around the outside of your armor. But they insist it's no trouble, and they step in and get these fastened around you. And Nikita kind of puts in this. I feel like you may have trouble clanging the anklets against your own armor. You know, when it makes a sound, they get points.
It'll be good practice.
Okay. I was
You
kind of
got to play the game in hard mode.
backs away a bit. As it starts, as the beat starts to pick up, Malka and Senyo both start to kind of step in time. It's not really dancing at first. They just kind of, almost like a boxer, just sort of dance, skipping back and forth from foot to foot, keeping the anklet resting against the back of their Achilles tendon and the flat of their foot as they move, moving it smoothly so it never actually bounces or jingles or wobbles against itself at all.
I'm going to look at what they're doing and try to copy it. Understanding that what they're doing is trying to keep one side of the bangle as close to one side of their ankle as possible so that the inertia just kind of moves it back and forth without making it jingle.
And Buddy starts like, and the left, and the left, and the
Buddy's
right, and the right, and kick it over, and kick it over. Full dancing, just going
Wow.
down. Gonna do a nice square dance, starting off. Going down.
So you just start square dancing at them. And as you do,
Never
A little
has a man ever flexed so
Senyo looks down, almost trying really hard not to laugh as she sees this happen. So it's kind of bouncing back and forth.
And I see her starting to laugh, and I go kind of getting pretty amused. And I go down like twice as hard, like really flailing at this point, like.
And Buford, handsome Ganku would like to hand you a hero point.
Yes!
For being ultra Texas, even in a world without Texas. You may need it here in a moment.
Oh, okay.
But the drum goes from being a simple beat. The guy they have hitting it calls out, "Ka!" and starts hitting it a little faster and a little harder every other beat. And as they do, Senyo and Moko both, in between steps, start to kick a foot forward, each of them towards whoever they're against, trying to kick in your anklets. So, make me... Functionally, it's an unarmed attack roll at like a -4, because you're just trying to hit feet.
Not performance?
With feet. It is an attack roll.
It's an attack roll? Okay. I use the magics thing, so I'm not actually sure what an attack roll is.
Yeah,
You
neither
can
do
use
I.
Dex or Strength. I think it's Agile.
So
and
it is unarmed is a simple weapon, so it should realistically be the same as your attack roll for everything else.
Okay, so
you,
mine
I'm
is
sure,
the-
are trained, so it's going to be your strength or your dex modifier.
Dex.
Your level is 5, and you're trained, so it's 2, so it'd be 7
Like,
plus
so
one of
just
those
be this
modifiers.
without the.
So 10.
Without the.
So you get plus
the
10.
potency
Yeah,
bonuses.
that's it. So
Yeah, you
okay.
you wouldn't get potency bonuses because you're just unarmed.
I guess I
defeat.
shouldn't use my combat dice because I feel like that's a bit rude.
So you want to go first?
Critical hit, sweep the leg, boom.
Exactly what happens when I jump.
So what's your
would
AC right
arguably
now?
win.
What's your AC, Buford?
23.
Inexplicably, the armor is helping you. Senyo.
Ah, good thing we didn't take it off.
Yeah.
Senyo, seemingly completely thrown off by what on earth you're doing, just tries to lash out with some like quick little kicks, expecting you to like react or move, but you just keep square dancing because he doesn't understand. So make me your unarmored attack.
Okay. That is a 13 plus 14, 27.
27. As you step back, you just
Sweep
kick
the
a foot out and just kick her ankle. Almost on accident. She tries to kick towards you, and you hear hers ring out with a chime. And now you
kick,
can-
And kick.
Now
And
it becomes clear. Each pair of these makes a differently pitched chime, so it's incredibly obvious that it's Senyo who got dinged. You get 1 point.
Oh, 1 point.
What's your AC?
21.
Mako is going to kick towards you, so kind of cautiously, just sort of feeling you out. She's not actually going to land anything, so give me your unarmed attack.
D6.
We use it for the point tracking.
Oh, I've never done this before. This is so exciting.
You're playing Warhammer now.
That's going to be a 26.
The 26, you would also be able to ding hers as well, and you would get 1 point. So in the beginning, each of you score a point on them. And they're laughing, both kind of changes to like a face of focus. Start paying attention, like, oh no. Oh no, don't listen to this.
They lean forward.
They lean forward.
Lean in.
The gamer lean. So, as this continues, the beat starts to get a bit faster. And Nikita calls out, "Make sure you have to keep incoming. You have to make sure you keep with the beat. If you fall behind or out of step with this, you just lose. The kicking is secondary. You cannot fall behind the drum."
Oh gosh.
So,
Gotta put it to the
Buford,
song.
make me an acrobatics or a performance check. It is
Acrobatics
up to you.
it is. Okay, so 6 plus 7, 13.
With a 13, as you sort of fall out of that,
Well, I'm doing a square dance. You can't do
the
that
guy who's at the
fast.
drum is going to call out, "Do! Oh, Kato! Oh my god!" And everyone kind of laughs a bit. And Nikita shakes his head. He said, "Armor man, he doesn't know your name. You lose a point."
Buddy.
So you lose your point. And Senyo,
Throw the dice.
Senyo, staying in step, is going to keep that at 0-0. So give me your check as well.
She'll actually start singing a Breach Hill drinking song in Mwangi to try to keep herself in beat.
Okay. Then make me performance or acrobatics to stay in step.
I'm
here.
gonna do performance because I'm singing to try to keep myself on track.
Okay.
Nat 20! 24,
It just so happens
nat
that
20.
the translation is perfect.
With that nat 20,
Rhythm and everything.
it does a great job of keeping you in, and you are going to get basically +2 to your AC because you're so in step with this. Down this next round of attacks, it's going to be harder for them to hit you. You're perfectly in this, and you don't have to focus as much as trying to stay on the beat here.
Singing Mwangi step in time.
Singing Mwangi step in time, singing Mwangi step in time.
Alrighty. And Moko is going to succeed. She's also going to critically succeed as well. So she's also going to get +2. Both of you are just kind of focusing on the dance here. Now, Nikita calls out, yeah, that's mostly good. So, try and stay in step and ding the anklets. We'll worry about score. So now you can make me another attack roll here, buddy.
Okay, so I would have seen that the other girl looked very serious, like very
Kind of
concentrated.
focusing now.
Okay, so I'm going to continue square dancing like I was before and not really change a whole lot and step very deliberately, so which would give me like a -4, I would say.
Okay.
I would say.
Well, you have a -4 inherently just from the attack roll. Obviously, you want to take a -8.
Yeah,
There's always attack rolls that have a -4.
yeah. So
Okay.
that's
We roll like so many sixes.
I know 6. So 6 + 13 - 8.
6 + 5 is 11.
Yes.
So with 11, yeah, you would she would be very much keeping her feet out of range here, and
It's not the cake part of the square
she is
dance
going
yet.
to get
Yeah.
a 30 to ding you.
Okay, that does not critically succeed, but she does do the dinging. She knows
Yeah,
how
so-
she knows the pattern. It's
Yeah.
one
now,
pattern.
Now try it. Now seeing what
It
you're
goes
doing.
left,
She
right,
reaches
right,
out,
kick.
dings one, and tries to sweep her foot to the side to hit the other one, but just can't do it and stay in the beat and keep her balance enough to get them both. But Senyo's going to get a point. Mako, aiming for you, is going to end up with a 26. They trying now.
That will succeed.
And she's going to ding you, and so you both got 1 point, but you get yours as well. And still with a -4, because they're all at a -4.
Okay. Straw or hay, or what can I say? Both get you a drink at the end of the day. She'll just be still
Singing and drinking song and walking.
And do I get +2 on this or just +2?
You get +2 to your AC.
Okay, got it. That's gonna be a 23.
23 will ding. So that gives you a second. As she comes in to hit you, hit her back, giving you your second point. The beat of the drums increases again, and as it speeds up, as you're kind of starting to get in the swing of this, you feel like you gotta focus one way or the other. If you want to focus on trying to score, you can let your dancing, your pace fall behind a little ways here. You can take a -4 penalty to stay in step to give yourself a +2 on your next attack roll. That's just up to you where you want to put your focus, or you can just roll them all flat. So the +2 would make it a -2 instead of -4.
Well, I mean, I can't mess up my square dance in here.
So then give me your acrobatics.
Well, no, because I don't want to speed it up too much because it'll ruin square dance. So I've got to keep, the square dance is more,
Square dance is more
important,
important.
than the beat.
All right, give me your
And
acrobatics
so,
check.
acrobatics check here is a good old 10.
Out of 10.
Buddy marches to the beat of his.
The guy, the guy banging the drum calls out, "En la casa!" And the kid kind of shakes your head. Buddy, you're out. Senyo wins.
And I would not.
Your square dancing does not increase in speed as the drum goes.
I
The
would tip
tears
my
flow
hat at
faster, but the
girl.
dancing does not speed.
I would tip my hat at the girl and ask the lady, well, does she still want to dance, or is this kind of the whole thing?
And as that whole finishes, she claps her hands together and puts up to the side, kind of like this, like half of the bowing gesture, and just kind of bounces a bit. Niniokata! Which Mwangi says thank you.
Oh,
roughly.
nice.
Oh, gotcha.
And she's got a big smile on her face, and she puts her hands back down, just sort of looking at you.
GG no re.
GG easy. That's not what it was.
I would do a really flourish bow. It was a pleasure dancing with you,
As
ma'am.
you bend all the way down, she just kind of looks at Nikita, and Nikita and Mwangi, human custom is respect.
Yeah. Give my
And
hat.
she smiles and nods, and,
And I'd clap along to
puts the
Resme.
hands back up again. As you start kind of clapping
yes,
along with the drum here, as it's still going into the this dance. Give me your perform check. And as Malko focuses, kind of trying to steady herself here, really looking down at your feet. Maybe make me your check.
Okay. That's gonna be a 26.
So 26, you critically succeed again. You just barely don't critically succeed now because the DC increases. But you succeed. Malko, kind of focusing on going to kick, goes to move forward and throws her balance off a little bit too far and just stumbles and catches herself. And the guy calls out again the drum, Ninika! Malko! And she just puts her hands over her face and steps back. Cha! Cha! She's just laughing. And Nikita just claps with Buford. You did it! Resme, you win! She lost the beat!
Resme will do a little victory dance and say, "Does this mean I get to keep the ring things?"
And all of the Ekajai, some of them come forward, all just sort of laughing, and there's just a quick flurry of Mwangi towards Malko and Senyo. As Malko just shaking her head, and a couple of them saying things to you two as well. They do understand. Just a whole lot of just congratulatory. A small child comes up to Buford and then just sort of looks up and like nods his head and starts kind of doing an imitation of big stompy square dance next to him.
And I would start up again, and I do it like real slow, like
You've
to
started
the
a
left,
trend.
to the left. It's like really slow.
It was beginner's luck.
And one of the Ekajai of the group, who's a bit older, he's got his hair kind of pulled back into one just massive tail down his back, steps forward and puts a hand up towards you. And just the one hand up and down. I'm Khadija of the Leopard Clan, mother of the Forest Clan. I challenge you, Takada.
I accept.
And Margot takes her set of banglets off and passes them over to Khadija. And
I have a feeling I'm about to face their ringer.
as he does, there's some gasps and some elbow and some prodding going throughout the group. So everyone just whoa, looking at what's about to happen here. Nikita kind of steps forward. You do not have to continue. If you are tired, it is okay.
Is magic legal?
It is a dancing game. It's all in common, so you understand. No, you cannot use any magic.
Wind wall, boom!
Wow! Hydraulic push! See ya!
I'm not like, haste or fleet stuff.
No, there is no. It is a game of skill.
Oh.
But you have done enough. If you wish to rest, do not feel like you have to
Well,
partake.
I feel like I need to get embarrassed now, or it's very impolite.
She just laughs. Well, we will see, I suppose. Someone will certainly walk away from this at least a little embarrassed.
Resme goes, "The honor of my clan rides on this. I accept your
And
challenge."
Khadija just sort of laughs. Up on the honor of the Leopard Clan, then. Tonight, I dance for Osekori! And everyone just starts laughing around him. He's clearly memeing. But as he puts the anklets on and the beat starts again.
Well, can I participate in round 2?
Yeah, if you
Against
want to.
one of the others.
Yeah, you can. Senyo is more than happy to play again if you want to try. Senyo will play against you.
Tonight,
Perfectly
I'm
happy.
gonna fall
It seems
over.
like fun.
So we'll roll out your game, and then we'll roll out her game. So while you're dancing with Senyo, start up. Give me your unarmed attack at a -4.
Level +2 plus modifier, or dex or strength.
Yes, -4.
-4.
Because it's just food to food.
So that's a 3.
So you try. Red thinks it looks fun. Red
It's
tries.
fun.
But
16.
16? You don't quite ding her, but you get sort of close there, actually. It's pretty close. And she is going to try to ding you with a 13.
She misses.
So you're both kind of feeling each other out here.
We're just getting
As
used to
this
playing
starts,
the game.
just getting used to it. As,
going easy on me.
As the beat starts to increase, and give me an acrobatics or a performance.
Performance.
And you can take the -4 to give yourself +2 on the attack roll if you want to.
No, just the performance.
Okay. Her performance is going to be a 28. She's going to critically succeed. Her AC increases. Is that a natural 1?
That is a natural one.
Ver,
He doesn't really dance.
music was not something they taught you in the cloister. And you are eliminated literally
you know
immediately.
what I'm gonna do.
Wait, it's a new day.
No, I used it coming through the portal.
He used it with the dragon. He used it to on. He can use it on
on
other people. He used it on
I
Renali's
thought
first
you could
saving
use it
throw
on
because she
yourself.
natural 1 the saving throw on the first firebreath. So
we're
all right. We'll take a session reroll.
And you wonder why you guys don't have hero points.
That's a session reroll.
Oh,
You don't even use your session reroll.
I did today.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
That goes up to a 10.
With the 10.
It's not a critical failure.
Yeah, but it's still a failure, and it does not eliminate you, but you have no points. And as it moves into the next round here, she is going to try to strike at you again. She is going to get a 24 to ding ya.
She does not crit me.
Okay, so she is gonna.
can.
Senyo is gonna get 1 point as the beat increases. Give me your -4.
I got a 20.
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
Oh baby, so she comes in. You play the Queen's Gambit here. You let her ding 1, and as she's overextended, quickly hit both
I just
of her
break out
anklets.
into a little river dance, just tap tap.
You get 2 points. And Senyo goes,
His little legs go. Woo, and all of a
I'm
sudden,
not even really sure what happened. His little stumpy feet, they're like a foot long, but somehow he hits them both.
Roar is breakdancing.
So her legs are as long as his entire body, and he somehow manages to hit both of them. Dances his entire
I
body up.
danced right between her.
Danger close.
Danger close.
He can literally dip between her legs and ding both of them and end up behind her.
I cast fireball.
The image of river
So-
dancing is amazing, by the way.
So Senyo,
Super serious face, just river dancing.
trying to recoup, is going to focus a little more on the offense. She's going to take the -4 onto her dance. Still going to succeed, but not going to critically succeed.
We're not taking the -4. I only have a 4, so
She's much better at keeping the dance than she is at dinging.
a 16.
16 is going to fail.
But I'm not out.
Not critically yet, but you're going to lose 1 of your 2 points. So it's 1-1 right now. It's 1-1 ver Senyo.
I got to get my points on the offense, not
She
the
is
dance.
taking the +2 to this, so she's only at a -2. It's going to be a 23.
Does not crit.
Okay, ding is, she's going to get a 2nd point. Let's see it, Ver.
Do it again.
Do it again.
No, don't.
That's a 9. Or no, that's an 8. That's an 8.
8 total.
Yeah, so I'm contemplating it.
If you use one of your gold coins for this, like, that's... I'm gonna give you...
6 seconds, Ver. Less than that. You got to stay on the
3,
beat.
2. He's doing it.
He's spending a hero point, ladies and gentlemen. Kados will feed this day.
It's worth it.
Dance epidemic tonight.
That's a 9. It went up.
So 9 does not critically fail, but
Hey.
you're not going to ding. The beat continues to increase here. She's going to take the -4 again. She's going to succeed.
Got a 19.
19 will also succeed. You both succeed, you both stay on the beat, you don't lose your points. 1-2. Alright, here comes the ding. Ooh, 12. I don't think she's going to ding this time.
No.
Does that critically fail?
No, it's 18.
Alright, so she doesn't manage to get you. Just keeping a comfortable 1-point lead here.
12.
And,
11. Doesn't critically miss.
It's a very defensive game at the moment. Senya's just starting to time me out with the tempo increases here. And she is not going to take the -4. It's strategizing time. She realized she doesn't have to ding you. Your tiny little feet can only go so fast. She's just going to go for it. She's going to pass.
19.
19's going to fail as it continues to increase. Bringing it down to 0 points now, I believe.
Thank you.
So Senyo's in for the ding. 14, she's not really feeling for the ding. She's just waiting you out. Just waiting you out. 0-2 Senyo right now.
Hand me that purple D20. We're gonna go with the lucky dice.
Oh no.
Oh no.
21.
21 will ding.
Or 20. Still dings.
20 dings. So it's 1-2. Dance.
Thanks.
She is gonna fail to dance as it gets real fast here, and she's gonna drop the 1.
19.
You're gonna drop to 0.
I'm not critically failing.
You're not.
That's what matters.
You're not.
So I'm at 0 again.
0, 1. She's just waiting. She's focusing. It's getting real fast here. And she is going to reach out, just kind of a 13. She's making a cursory effort to make you defend.
11.
And you're just trying to keep on the beat. You're just trying to not get eliminated. Let's see it, Rur. Dance me.
Shut up and dance.
The beat has you swear, nearly doubled in speed by this point.
I have to keep going.
Rur.
I have
You can't
to.
spend all your hero points on dance.
I have to.
Oh no.
This
I have
is why.
to. This
Haha,
is what
Ringo
I pay
die.
for. Entertainment. 16.
16's not gonna critically fail.
That's all that matters.
You're still in. He's in it. He's in
I'll
it.
time her out with my tiny legs.
She succeeds, so she keeps her 1 point.
Does critically failing the attack roll do anything?
Throws you off balance. Gives you -2 to the dance. Derp, you can't just keep
I
doing
can
it.
absolutely keep doing it.
That's your last one, right?
Yeah.
He's hit 3 hero points.
11. 11.
11's not gonna critically fail. She's gonna come in for a 22.
That does not crit.
Ding it up to a 2nd point. And now
The tempo increases.
the drummer's going now. Bang, 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 bang. I'm trying to keep the beat going.
18.
Doesn't critically
Yes! That's all that matters.
And she does!
Yes!
Okay, no, if you're gonna spend 3 hero points, I have to spend Blink 1429, your old
Yes.
one. Nah. If you're gonna put 3 hero points, I'm gonna put a villain point in this. Not like this. Senyo, come on. Natural 20! Yes, okay.
Oh, it's getting intense.
Oh. Okay. So her AC increases.
Ooh.
She's in it. She's not gonna let you win in her own game.
I'm rolling 8s for every attack.
What's that give you?
11.
11 doesn't critically fail. She's gonna go for the ding. 16.
Nope.
Not gonna do it. All right.
The tempo
increases up to 24. Let's see.
That's very cocked.
That's an 18.
It's
sitting flat on the face. It's in the letter, but that's flat.
The only thing flat here is your logic.
That's a 14.
That's fine.
14.
That's an 18.
Plus
18.
plus 18.
No, it's a
Oh,
14.
18 doesn't
Well,
critically
fail.
fail. Where is this scrambling? All right. 21 to ding. 3 to Senyo.
That's a point. Natural 20.
Double ding.
2, 3. That's the most intense game of Daikon of the Ekiji I've ever witnessed.
See, she went for it. She thought she could just time me out.
And you do it again.
But she went
She
for
got
it and just right
complacent.
between the legs. Ding, ding.
It's supposed to be the main event over here, which I'm sure is ended by this point. And Senyo and Ver are just going, Sarenrae, bless my feet. It's 2-3 Senyo right now.
Resme might lose just because she can't believe what's happening over there.
I can't believe how this is
This
still
is the most
going.
intense thing.
Okay, all right, Senyo. Senyo, you got this. Natural 20 again.
15. Does not critically
It
fail.
exactly critically fails.
Exactly critically fails.
Because 25.
25 now.
25 now.
That is it then.
Yeah, I think you're out.
And with that, finally, Senyo sweating
We're both sweating.
as you come through.
I'm sorry, I don't have guidance.
Nikita calls out the Rur's been eliminated, but still, just cheers throughout the Ekiji watching, impressed that this tiny, hairy creature can somehow keep up into such late rounds of Daikata. What an actual legend he is.
I told you this is gonna be fun.
So Resme
Man,
He's been
Esmus would be
challenged
so good at this.
by Khadija for the pride of the leopard clan. The dance begins.
Is this a performance check or an attack
It's
check?
an attack roll first. It starts with the attack. So, Khadija, clearly as he starts, this is not a dance to him. This is a game. A game he has played many times, and that he is here to win. But only gonna be a 15 to start out for the attack roll.
Resme is gonna start out light. She's gonna try to use her youth to her advantage by just trying to stay spry and step lightly.
Bouncy.
That's gonna be a 22.
22 will ding. Is that with the -4?
No, that's not what the
not
Yeah,
with
-4 on all these. I was like, wow, that's pretty good.
18.
18 will not ding. So you reach out, and he's also kind of doing the same thing, just sort of waiting to see how you play here for a moment. It is gonna go to the performance as the beat slowly gets faster. You can tell after he watches for a few moments, a few bars of this, he's going all offense. He's gonna succeed the check, taking the penalty. He's going for them kicky feet. What are you doing?
She's gonna start singing. At this point, she's gonna try to get him to laugh. Age is like brandy, youth is like wine. Neither are more likely to make your leg chime.
All right.
He laughed.
Throw him off, throw him off. Is this at -4 too?
No, the perform check, no,
Okay.
but all the unarmored strikes are at -4.
That's gonna be a 16.
16 will do it for the first one. It's good. It's good, but it's good. You struggle as it speeds up on that one. So as it comes out of that,
She's also tired.
Khadija. Khadija.
That man almost went out in the first round.
Thank you, Blade Tiger. Khadija
Oh,
is gonna come in with a 27.
She'll buckle down and start
Is it
dance.
27. Hit.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah.
Does it crit?
No.
Okay, 1 point for Khadija.
that actually wouldn't even crit me.
Yeah, it's fair. It's hard to crit in this with the -4.
Yeah.
She'll buckle down and she'll start dancing much faster. She's gonna go all offense too because there's really no other choice for her at this
So
point.
give me the attack. You gotta win it before the beat runs away from you.
That's gonna be a 25,
With -4.
then a 22. No, 20.
Isn't that the beat?
Wait, I thought you were rolling for beat right now.
Oh, this is beat. My bad. 25. Yeah, you're good. No, it's attacks. We just did beat.
Yeah, you just did beat. You're
This
doing
is attacks.
My attack is 27 minus 4
23?
is 23.
Neutral ding. Neutral ding. It's 1-1 Resme Khadija right now. And now it's going for the beat,
Yes.
which he again is still just smarking through. He is focusing on ringing you, looking down. His gaze doesn't really move. He doesn't watch your ankles so much as he just watches the ground beneath you, staring at a fixed point. Kind of watching how your feet and how the anklets move around so he can aim his strikes. He is going to critically succeed the performance check for +2 AC as he kind of locks into this here as it gets faster.
You know, it's impolite to look at a lady's legs who you've just met.
I laugh. He is unfazed. Khadija ain't losing this. Not today.
Not today!
Those villain points will make sure of it.
The honor of the leopard clan.
That's gonna be a... Is it, are we on performance?
It's performance.
Yeah.
11.
11 is going to fail. So as you kind of speed up a little faster than the music does, you ding him, but they call out a point loss for you as you get a little off tempo. So do not out. It's 0-1 Khadija, who is going to attack again, bringing out a 28.
That will hit.
So he gets second point, just racking him up slowly.
You just gotta last. You can out-time them.
She'll try to sing an impolite limerick and try to translate it into Mwangi while still making it rhyme.
That's a challenge to focus on while trying to dance.
Something's gotta keep her awake.
All right, give me the attack. Let's see.
Ooh, 17.
So 17, so am I at -4?
Attack rolls -4,
So
yep.
that's a 13, so that's 23.
23, he will just barely still dip his foot away from as he goes. Locked in with the beat, moving fast enough that it seems like it's near impossible for you to land anything on him at this
Oh,
point.
he's so good.
Third performance check. He's still gonna be taking the penalty. He is going to critically succeed again, taking the +2, getting the +2 to his AC. Khadija knows what this is about. He's
You're way harder. That's gonna be a 17.
17's gonna fail, but just barely, as it gets faster. So it's 0-2. Khadija is once again. He kicks out and kind of overexerts himself here a little bit as you're getting tired. Puts in a little too much. Gonna slip a bit. He doesn't manage to ding anything. Lose a bit of his balance. So his natural way is gonna take -2 on the performance check.
Okay, she'll try to take advantage and try to go even more on the offensive, because this is like probably her only chance to get something in.
My moment.
So here's your attack
Wait,
roll.
he natural one the attack.
He natural on the attack.
I thought that throws you off balance.
Yeah, it
It
did.
does.
That's why
It's
you get the
-2 on the
-2.
next performance check.
Oh, I thought that took you
Are we
out.
on attack?
It's on our
Yeah,
attack.
it's the attack.
Okay, then
failing
that's gonna
it.
be a 21.
21's still not gonna do it. He's a little off trying
Because
to
I'm
keep the
minus
tempo.
4, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you're my, you got it right.
And then he is not going to take the full aggressive this time because he is a little off balance and he wants to not be eliminated. So, normal performance.
That's either a nat 20 or a nat 1.
Looks like that's the third villain point.
No, he can't do it. He can't spend the last villain point on
I
this.
invested all of my points.
But for the clan, the leopard
He rolled
clan.
2 nat 1s in a row. It can't end like
I
this.
mean, a leopard clan, would they
You got
ever?
that point right there.
No.
Yeah.
You got that point
Not like this.
right there.
No, he can't nat 1 twice.
Dishonoring. He's
Khadija,
dishonoring.
no.
Go for the 3 nat 1s in a row and make his ankles shatter.
God, Rur's bloodthirsty.
The leopard clan is. He's
This-
really gonna
You
let
don't
them
hit
down.
him. But you get in the way enough to get him tangled up and throw him off. And he's out. You beat Khadija, who I'm pretty sure is designed to just pretty much be impossible, but
Nat 1s are a hell of a drug.
Thank you, Alseta.
you beat Khadija as like laughing, he just kind of steps back, make a big waving motion with his arms. No!
Resme is laughing so hard that she can barely talk.
I have to tell Sekori that she controls the leopard clan now. It has been passed to the white elf from the north. Everyone's just losing it. And then this dance is still happening.
Yeah.
It's still going. As everyone kind of just slowly turns their attention to Rur just going bananas here in the corner, trying his hardest. The Senyo is just keeping up. Not even really attacking, just watching as this continues for another.
These 2 weird instances
Like-
of him just flashing between her legs. Ding, ding. What
Almost-
just happened?
Almost a full minute of them going. And the little halfling man running between their legs is an amazing strategy. Clearly no Ekujai's ever attempted before. We're inventing new levels of Daikata here.
She's gonna ask him, do you
That's
drink?
an Olympic level play
Here?
right there.
And Nikita turns to you. Drink this. I know you have in your lands the barley and the fermented.
And grapes. My,
Yeah, we can't grow these things.
Would you like to try? My family sent some
I
of their
heard
best.
this is a bad idea generally.
Are you sure? Come on. I bet you'll get better at this game.
Perhaps this would be a better question for Galenor. Maybe get him a little more relaxed for the hunt. So, Doran is not participating in this. He's just kind of watching.
It's just fascinating, actually. Maybe I'll try it at some point in the future, but I think for now I'm going to. I think Rur and Resume and Buddy have owned the stage.
Make me a perception check real quick.
Sure.
Let me
That's only a 13.
switch my music over here. So still 13 still is not going to require. Is it a natural one?
No.
All right. So then you are going to see as you look around. So as these dances are finishing, up in the trees, kind of off to the side, a little above the platform, appears another figure. but not an ekajai, actually. There appears to be a rather pudgy lioness, just kind of draped almost carelessly across a large branch a little off to the side.
Like a lioness?
A lioness
In the jungle?
in the jungle,
In a tree.
in a tree.
This
Alright,
time
just-
of year.
Just, just making sure.
On a Sunday.
What is the world
Resting
coming to?
on her paws, just sort of looking towards all the activity happening in the center of the platform.
She's gonna challenge you to a game.
She's the true champion.
You can't get to the hind paws.
Does anyone else seem to notice this lion in the trees?
A couple of the ekajai nearby would have turned and addressed her. Clearly almost directly to the lion and Mwangi, or some of the kids would have pointed her out. And smiles on their faces. Doesn't seem to concern them, they seem to recognize it.
Huh, fair enough. I guess I'll ask about it later.
Well, the dance kind of comes to an end here as the Daikata contest finishes. And Mako comes to collect all the little anklets around from everybody. And Nikita just looks over the group. I don't even know what to say about that, really. And this is a comment, so you don't understand that.
Well, that was darn good dancing out there.
Everyone seemed to have a great time.
It was incredible.
How much faster could that beat get?
Not much. That's as near as fast as I've really seen it go.
That
Xenio was just playing with you, trying to wait for, well, what happened to happen, really. But I do not think Khadija came into this expecting to lose, Resume.
that is what you get for having 4 older brothers.
I wasn't wrong. Someone's going to leave this one embarrassed, that much is certain. But no, you are all good sports, the group of you. I'm
That
sure
was
the
fun.
girls appreciated your humoring them with this game.
They're very sweet.
And so he kind of looks over to where Galenor and the rest of the hunters have gotten most of their stuff together, are starting to pick up and string their equipment, and nods over that way. Well, if you want to be of assistance and if you're not too tired after all of the dancing, little priest, looks like the hunting party will be leaving before too long. May not be a bad idea to go speak with them now, see if you can join in.
It could be good to get an idea of the lay of the land around here. Also, I did have a question. I noticed that there's appears to be a lioness in the trees, but she seems to be a feature of the area.
She looks up to it and just grin across her face and she shakes her head.
It seems
That is
well-fed,
toothless.
toothless.
She thinks she is a leopard.
I see. She's in the tree after all.
It looks like she seems to have taken notice of you.
Well, it was a lot of things took notice over here.
As they should have. It was impressive, if nothing else.
It was. But yes, no, we could go on the hunt and learn about the area around here, I suppose.
So as you look up to the Toothless area, it's pretty obvious to all of you that the Ekajai both know her and seem to hold her in fairly high regards. They're all cautious. Only one man is bold enough to walk up close enough to reach out a hand, just kind of near her, like you would to a cat you don't know. Just sort of near her face, not touching her, but a few inches away. And she just lazily flicks her tail back and forth and doesn't turn her head to acknowledge him or anything. She's just kind of looking towards the center of the platform at the group of you. And with all of that, what a fantastic introduction to the Ekajai and the city of Akravel. And a great adventure we had here that is not just getting horribly murdered by things. It's not all Cheruka and flame dragons and fire. And it doesn't all have to be just infinite ceaseless murder. Every now and then, we just get a neat session. We go to a new place, meet some nice people, and have a
murder
good time.
Just a few cultists.
Murdered just a few cultists. You know,
And
just for
destroy their
spice.
clan game forever.
Yeah. I am
You
positive
rule
that
the clan now.
he will never hear the end of this. that man's
feel like
pride
it's
is
right.
gone for life.
I kind of feel bad
But
about
you
that.
feel like you've made a pretty good impression on the Ekajai here, who at first were very cautious, sort of skeptical of the group of you. But now seem to quickly be warming up. And your willingness to dive right into a game you don't understand and potentially completely embarrass yourselves in front of everybody seems to have taken a good shine to them. And the fact that you even attracted Toothless's attention, some of them clearly seem to be making a connection between her appearance and the group of you being here. But that's going to be it for us today, everybody.
Points
And
well spent today.
Points well spent.
Jesus, you both.
I spent 2 villain points on a dance off.
Well, it's better than spending how
You
many
almost
was it?
spent 3.
I've really considered it, but like clearly when I roll on that one twice in a row, God has spoken to me.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm not going to tell the story how to run itself. We play dice games for a reason. I got a very clear message from 2 nat ones in a row. Next week, we will continue meeting the Ekajai people. Possibly join this hunting party to catch the game for our own feast as the sun moves to set, and learn what it is, what there is rather, to know here in the depths of the Mwangi jungles.
And maybe a sing-off.
And maybe a sing-off. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you all for
Bye.
hanging out. We will see you all next Saturday, or if you want some more Pathfinder, I do have another campaign that runs on my own personal channel, twitch.tv/squiddish. That's on Mondays. Just starts 2 hours after this one does, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific, playing the other 2nd edition campaign that exists, Extinction Curse. Good night, everybody.